2.5 metres.
Finals, even though there were a final 8 last year. Of course, Geelong, well, they've gone out in the first 2 rounds for the last 2 years and will be hoping to do a little bit better. Both clubs have new coaches. Robert Shaw at Adelaide to see whether he can turn things around from what Graham Corns was able to achieve last year. And, of course, Gary Ayres has stepped up from assistant coach at Geelong to take Malcolm Blight's place. Well, this should be a really good game. There's a smallish crowd here because there's been a bit of a boycott on the match because of attendance charges levied on people, even though they're members here at Football Park. And a bit of a boycott will see the crowd kept to about maybe 15,000 here to watch this game between Adelaide and Geelong.
The 1995 Ansett Australia Cup, brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, Nike, Foster's Lager, and McDonald's.
And in the commentary box, none other than Malcolm Blight, who last year was in the hot seat and for the last 6 years at Geelong. A little bit different now in the commentary box.
Well, it is true, actually. Just looking out before and saw all the Geelong players walk out there and thought, yeah, well, but it's great to be back here, I can assure you.
And at this time in a game, the coach is, you know, wondering whether he's got everything right, and I suppose Gary Ayres going into his first match will be a little bit toey at the moment.
Oh, he would be, yeah. I mean, obviously Geelong need a good start, and Gary in his first effort, as is Robert Shaw, of course, and I mean, they're very, very keen to do well.
All right, well, let's take a look at the teams that will be playing today. We have squads of 22, 4 on the interchange bench.
Just looking, as I said, Robert Shaw in his first coaching expose with Adelaide. Looking at some of the players through that side, it's a good balanced list, actually. They've got a few injuries, as has Geelong, but I think overall a pretty even balanced lot. Andrew Jarman back in favour, who had a bit of an up and down season last year, but has been a very, very good player for them over the years.
And would you expect, well, let's have a look at some
Tony McGuinness, first-time captain today, officially for the Crows, and he's been a great, great player in AFL and VFL football. Here he is again into the action, and Mark Rasciudio, in his 3rd season this year, a genuine superstar in the making, and wonderful, wonderful skills. As we come up and just look at this, the big fella, Sean Wren, probably the most capable big man in the game today.
Well, let's have a look at Geelong's side, and a few changes here from the squad that you had last year, noticeably with Gary Ayres and Michael Tuck, I suppose.
Yes, certainly a Hawthorn connection. Gary had a very good year at the club last year as assistant coach, and I personally wish him all the best too in his career as a senior coach. Gary Adelaide, of course, could toss the coin today, actually. I was just looking through for a captain, and Gary did actually captain the side a few times last year. Just looking at these highlights, the previous captain, of course, Mark Bairstow, they're not now playing, retired, down to Gary Ablett, and we've seen that many, many times over the last few years with Gary, and 120 plus goals in the last 2 years. Tim McGrath, this day playing on Wayne Kerry. There is some talk that he may play centre-half forward, has been playing there in the practice games. And looking at Shane Brewer, one of the exciting youngsters at the Geelong Football Club.
Okay, so they're the 2 lineups and some players to be watching out for today. It should be a top game, albeit in hot conditions here at Football Park in Adelaide. Hope wherever you're watching around Australia that you enjoy it, and we'll be back for the opening bounce after a short break.
Introducing Street Siesta, luscious mango puree with a cool, creamy ice cream center. New Street Siesta, cool refreshment, pure indulgence.
If we rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll, somewhere. No, this way.
Rock and roll. Find us in your supermarket freezer.
You can now install an impulse monitored alarm system from as little as $300. That's right, $300 fully installed. Our bulk purchasing power allows you to benefit with the best possible prices whilst getting the best quality products at Adelaide's lowest prices guaranteed. For quality monitored alarm systems starting from just $300 fully installed, call Impulse now on 371-2888. That's 371-2888. Impulse for the best value security systems in Adelaide. Faster. Too good for words.
The smartest thing we ever did was join a credit union. Gee, I'm glad I thought of it.
Oh, you thought of it? Get out of here.
More people than ever before are choosing a credit union for their savings. We think it's because we offer a wide range of savings and investment accounts for almost every need. And most importantly, real peace of mind.
You don't need to worry. You need a credit union.
Take control. Contact your local credit union.
Tuesday, a great recipe for perfect compost, turning a cheap plate into a hand-painted masterpiece.
Fraction of what it would cost in the shops.
And win a dream bathroom renovation. This show's bursting with ideas for a better home and garden. Then, everything you ever wanted to know about cruising.
I'm glad I bought my tiara.
The non-stop thrills of Buenos Aires and an Aussie top spot.
Best fish and chips in Australia.
Don't dream about it. Do it with a terrific Tuesday on 7.
Welcome back to Football Park in Adelaide, and the Crows' new skipper, Tony McGuinness, who took over a week or so ago from Chris McDermott, leads the Crows through their banner here into the warm, sunny conditions of Football Park. And as Malcolm Blight suggested, yes, it is the great man Gary Ablett, 33 years of age, leading Geelong out through the banner. And it's great to see Ablett in his 34th year, still going strong, and wouldn't it be great to see him kick another century this year, having kicked a century in the last 2 years. Well, the Ansett Australia Cup has been a great success in '95. The first round matches have been completed in a bit of a hurry. We started last Friday week, so in the space of 9 days, we've completed the 8 matches, or by this afternoon, we will have completed the 8 matches in the first round, and the quarterfinal starts tomorrow night at Waverley. We thought it'd be a good time to take a look through the highlights of some of the games in round 1 of the Ansett Australia Cup this year.
A new team, but an old familiar story. As Stewie Lowe kicked 9 to end Fremantle's dream of a perfect start to the Ansett Australia Cup. For Lazar Vidovic, a 6-match suspension followed his fiery clash with Brendan Crummell. Drafty Alan Thorpe repaid Carlton's faith with 6 goals against Richmond in match 2, in front of 23,000 at Waverley. The undermanned Blues recovered from a 5-goal deficit. With play like this from James Cook, went on to win by 7 goals.
Nichols gets the order to play on.
The outstanding player of '94 opened in sensational fashion. Wayne Carey just demolished Brisbane. 28 possessions and 14 marks were the statistics of a champion. And North went on to win by 10 goals.
5 metres out from goal.
Bernie Quinlan's debut as a senior coach marked the first appearance of the Hawk, Dougie Hawkins, in the new look Lion gear. Dougie chipped in with a couple of goals. At the other end, a 7-goal haul from Scott Cummings ensured Essendon a big first-round win. Last season, Collingwood beat North Melbourne with a goal 2 seconds from the siren. Against Footscray, the Magpies gave their army of supporters another nail-biting evening. This time, Trent Houghton had the chance. His kick went astray, and the Bulldogs held on to win by a point. Yesterday at the Bruce Stadium in Canberra, Sydney took on Hawthorn, and before a crowd of 11,000, Tony Lockett showed his new colours. He finished today with 4 goals in a display which would have delighted coach Ron Barassi. Dunstall kicked 7 for the Hawks, but it was Sydney by 13 points. And last night at Waverley, the West Coast Eagles sounded an ominous warning with a 34-point win over Melbourne. The Demons, through Andrew Lampel, led at the first change. But it was spearhead Peter Sumich who kicked 7 goals, who put pay to any chance of a Melbourne victory.
So what a series we've had so far. We've had a 1-point result and quite a few games where the eventual winner came from a losing position to come from behind and win. We've seen a lot of players in different jumpers this year, and there's some stars out there today. So I think we're in for a great afternoon at Football Park. Hope you can stay with us on 7 Sport around Australia. We'll be back for the ball up after a short break.
You want to spill blood on the same patch of grass as the men that came before you. It doesn't separate men from boys, it tears them apart. I'm not saying I'd die from the team, but I'll be willing to go into an extended coma. I've broken leg, tore my hamstring in half, 40 stitches in my face, shoulder reconstruction, broken collarbone. Yeah, I'd recommend the game to anyone. I've walked off the field with fewer goals than my opponent, but I've never walked off the field a loser. You need natural instinct, great balance, and balls of steel. Am I proud? Asked me in a few years. I don't really like talking about myself that much. I let my feet do the talking. This is my face mask. It's an Australian game.
It's a roof renovation bonanza at Bromelco this month. Save 10% on re-roof. Save 20% on gutters. Save 30% on roof restoration. Yes, 30% off roof restorations. That's re-roof 10% off, gutters 20% off, restoration 30% off. Don't miss out this month for up to 30% off your roofing requirements. Call Bromelco now on 349 4666. That's 349 4666.
Se ti piggio la pesciole, esso vai, esso vera, sembra la pescia malovena. Se ci chiappa tanto si ti puscerete cozzaria, la pesce fritte baccalà, e comparo la mangia ciacchetta, la pesce fritte baccalà, e comparo la mangia.
Pasta pasta, too good for words.
Introducing Street Siesta. Luscious mango puree with a cool, creamy ice cream center. New Street Siesta, cool refreshment, pure indulgence.
I guess what attracted me to Pembroke is they're independent, not on anyone else's payroll, because Pembroke are my financial advisors. They work for me, and I know that their advice is unbiased.
For independent advice, call Pembroke, your financial planners.
Recommend them to anyone.
Okay, kids, off to the bathroom. Headlights are a fact of school life. It's also a fact that headlights will infect any type of hair, clean or dirty. But now there's Quilada Headlights treatment, a quick, easy way to kill headlights. Simply apply Quilada to dry hair, wait for 10 minutes, then just wash it out. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Highly effective Quilada headlights treatment. Kills headlights quick and easy.
Quilada, it's as easy as
1, 2, 3. It's so easy to shape up at home. You can with BeFit Higher, exercise bikes for burning up excess calories and toning your legs. Everyone can now shape up at home. Multi-exercise rowers for complete body tone. Hydraulic rowers for firming the tummy. Call BeFit Higher now at a location near you.
Welcome back to Football Park, down on the boundary line in the warm sunshine. Neil Curley. Afternoon, Curls.
Hi, Drew. How are you? Well, Drew, I can assure all the viewers that both these teams are fired up for this game. This is not going to be, it's an Ansett Cup final as far as they're concerned. They're very keen. There's a lot of atmosphere in the rooms, and the coaches on both sides are very tense because they're both first-year coaches. And I think you'll find that both big men starting on the field, I wouldn't be surprised to see Wren lining up at full forward.
Well, it looks a pretty good call because that's the way he's going, down towards the right-hand end. Tony McGuinness won the toss and elected to kick left to right in the first quarter. Of course, there's no Modra today, still serving a suspension for his little indiscretion on the end-of-season trip at the end of last year. And it's a good afternoon to Dennis Cometti.
Hello, Drew. It's a very warm day, isn't it? Listening to Neil talk about these two sides. Important game for Adelaide, I think. And I think they can bounce back this season. So much of their confidence eroded last year, but I think they'll have a good side and a good year. So the first bounce at Football Park, and a good one too. Up goes Pittman, clean possession, hand passes towards half forward. Couch had it, lost it. Kick from Tregenza towards half forward, knocked away by Handley. This is Simpson. Overran the ball. Now he's got a problem. Hall with great courage threw himself in and wins the free kick. Well done. Tony Hall outside the 50, down towards full forward. Colbert's in front, fisted away. Loose ball behind. Couch kept his head. Nicely done. This is Tanner. Swings it out wide. Opportunity now for the Cats. Pickering. He's at left half back. Goes down towards half forward. It's a foot race back. Who's got the ground speed? Maynard should get there first. They come from all directions. Quick hand pass. He goes after it again. Gets it across to half. Brown is free in the middle. On the overlap and storming down the ground is Tasker. Boots inside the 50. Awkward half volley. It bounces back off the knees there to Barnes. Running on down the ground, Sanderson. He's ignored. The hand pass comes over the top. Look out, Hinkley. Gets by Jarman. Advantage is paid. Strong Shepherd behind play. Hinkley kicks inside the 50. Atlett leads back in the race. Deep in the left full forward pocket. Snaps right across the face, I fancy. Out of bounds in the opposite pocket.
Pretty ambitious if he was going for goal from where he was out there, but then the man is a freak.
Just getting a feel for it.
Ben Hart kicks in for the Adelaide Crows towards the outer side. Barnes coming from behind, spoils Pittman, gets into his back and free kick to Pittman. Advantage played, comes up the ground to centre wing, and the ball, not much advantage there. The ball's, no, it hasn't gone out at centre wing. The Cats have it. And moving it forward, and Barnes marks outside of half forward. Oh. That was a bad hand pass option because Pickering had nowhere to go. It comes back to Pickering now, but Barnes will take a free kick.
Grant Tanner running with Tony McGuinness too, which worked pretty well a couple of times last year. Simpson playing loose in defence for Geelong, and Ben Hart playing loose in defence for the Crows.
Kick by Pickering, bounces awkwardly through half forward. Tanner gets the hand pass to McDermott, and the Crows work it out of defence across the ground, and that's good use of the ball, and the mark to Marty McKinnon. Up towards centre wing. Rasciuto with the short haircut, marks in front of Handel. Norwich Rising Star nomination, and fine season, All-Australian last year, Rasciuto. And this is Jason McCartney, the ex-Collingwood player, marking at half forward, playing at centre half forward for the Crows. Goes long, Wren is there, this is dangerous. Pull up the ball. The crowd want a free kick, there's nothing doing. It comes underfoot, and the umpire will ball it up.
Just some positional move through where Tim McGrath is playing centre half forward, although he's sort of playing out wide, and they're trying to leave centre half forward open. Ben Hart now standing in the centre of the ground by himself, so a ploy by Gary Ayres early, playing one loose in defence, forcing the Crows players to play that one loose at their end.
Ball had it, then lost it. Scholl tried to go through. Riccardi hurriedly. This is Wellman. 40 metres out. Goes for goal. Good effort. First goal of the game.
Very surprising indeed. Good poise by the young fellow then. He's certainly rated in Adelaide, this young fellow. Came in late last season, Dennis, and became a very, very good player. Thought Peter Riccardi did very, very well here. He really did try and force himself out the pack, and Wellman just waiting there loose and showed enough poise for a young fella to dob it through. Good start for the Crows.
Yep, Wellman, a 20-year-old who played 17 games last year in his first year in the AFL. Back in the middle, bounce favours Pittman. He backhands it down. Jarman feeds the ball out somehow. Hart has his kick smothered. Real scrap at ground level, and that was Derek Hall, 19 for Geelong. And so many players are going for the really short haircut. Jarman didn't have much to work with.
No hair jokes, Joey. True.
The centre line is ball virtually, isn't it?
Well, a lot around this ball up. Pittman wins, and it's going to be a Barnes free kick. Pittman interfering in ruck. Planning to be there for a long time with the sunscreen on. That's a good move.
Lord dropped the mark. Over the ball, Rasciuto. Close quarters to Jarman. He left it behind. Hand pass came away from Mansfield. Now Barnes has got it. He got it from Tanner. This is Riccardi, forward of the wing, about 65 metres out. Poor kick. Pittman's in front. Judged it pretty well. He's under the pump. McDermott, close quarters. McKinnon dragged off it. This is Powell over the ball now. Tries to knock it out. Smart gets it to McGuinness. He boots it out towards the wing. It bounces about 10 metres in from the line and stays in. That was a push in the back. And a full brother to one. Barnes goes down towards half forward. McDermott the mark. How did the umpire miss that? McDermott back towards the wing. Mansfield got his right hand to the ball, coming through Wellman. Still Wellman. Close to the line. Kept it in. McGuinness twisting and turning. Tanner. Good tackle. Jarman on the loose ball. Confronted by Couch. And the ball goes across the line.
I have to say, it's pretty lively and tight early, isn't it? There's been a lot of good tackling. Great second efforts by players of all teams, both teams at the moment.
Very gentle breeze, which begs the question, why spare men in defence? What do you think?
Well, I think what it is that Hall and McGrath are playing across half forward are two, I guess, slower types, and I guess they're trying to get the runner through that gap in the middle. Interesting ploy.
Yeah. Simpson pushing up the ground. He's alongside the centre circle. Off the ball as Adelaide goes up. Had it knocked away. Brown put his body in. Away comes McKinnon. Got the hand pass nicely across to Jamison. Timed the release very well. McCartney, an awkward one. In goes McGuinness. Still McGuinness over the ball. Lacking support. Simpson hasn't got it. And he'll get the free.
Sean Simpson with the hand pass away to Hinkley. And his kick up towards half forward. Wide for Ablett, who's 70 metres from goal. Comes up short. McGrath approaches the 50-metre line. Doesn't go for goal. A centering kick.
Smart, this kid.
Oh, no chance for the Cats here. But getting back in defence was Tregenza. Just behind centre wing is Maynard. Draws the man, floats the hand pass to McDermott. Chris McDermott, who lost the captaincy to his mate McGuinness. McDermott off the left boot, up towards the 50. And whereas it might have been a Geelong goal at one end, we're looking at the Crows. Tony Hall goes for goal. Wren in the goal square. Hall's kick carries them. Wren first to recover. Should get it. Oh, good tackling by Colbert. Well done, son, and walks it through for a behind.
Yeah, it's interesting play with Aaron Lord and Paul Lynch down the other end of the ground. Just a bit of talking. Two inexperienced players, and I think Aaron's really upset Paul Lynch with that kick.
Sanderson in short. This is Simpson. Adelaide lead by 7 points, 1-1, the entire score in the game so far. McCartney keen to add to that from 60 metres out. That's a thumping effort. Back goes Hall. Can't reach it. A behind. 1-2 to no score. And Sanderson to bring it in. 6 games with the Crows. And a few poor with Collingwood. Away it comes. In fact, Hinkley was the man who decided to bring it in. Sanderson fetched the ball for him. This is Handley on the outer side, close to the line. Kicks towards half forward. McGrath's up in front. Smart the fist from behind. This is Hall. Inside the 50 with a kick. Ablett low down. Spilt the mark. Jamison, all the time in the world. Boots it back towards the wing. Leading back in the race there, Brewer. Worked out of it by McKinnon. Hand passes at about 20 metres towards half forward. Mansfield on the berth. Needs to go. Ran the gamut and got through. Riccardi, the short one. Couch now with a man outside. Deep down towards the pocket. Finds him. That's Lynch, who would be about 35 metres out from goal if that. He had 2 to pick from in effect. I think Pickering also was loose. Wider still.
Like they had a spare man in attack then.
Yes, they did. Paul Lynch is a goal-kicking player. He's had a lot of injury over the years, and but does have wonderful skills. And from here, you'd almost back Paul to kick this.
Side down by 8 points. He's missed. You're back in the commentary box now. You know how it works. It's an unwritten rule. You say it, it doesn't turn out.
Give a bloke a rap. Fancy Ablett dropping that mark. It looked a sitter for him.
Did he captain the side under you, Mel?
Yes, he did.
How does he react to that?
No, he's been very good, actually. He really does pump him up a bit, and I think he'll be pretty keen to do well today.
McKinnon to Brown. Towards the outer side. Good punching from behind by Simpson. It comes to the front to Lord. Back to Simpson. Now, some of the field kicking has been a bit ordinary. McGrath gets the hand pass in. Couch on the left boot. Inside 50. It won't make it. Ablett in the goal square. Big climb down there. Still Ablett a chance waiting for the crumbs. But it's going to be a Crows free kick, as you can tell from the crowd. And they take it from the goal square and tackled by hand.
Jamison out of the back pocket towards the wing. McKinnon almost a free kick. Leads back in the race in any case. Forward of half back. He boots it down towards half forward on the bounce. Mansfield, nicely done. All the time in the world now to kick towards half forward, and back come the Cats. Lynch has got it. short pass, stabs it in low down. McGrath did well.
Does present himself when he played centre forward and has played there a little bit over the last 2 or 3 years, Tim. Probably the only thing that's let him down really has been his kicking for goal. As we look at the daisy cutter pass from Paul Lynch.
So McGrath from just outside the 50. Geelong trail by 7 points. Strong kick. Hit the post. Very good effort. So margin 6 points. Here's Jamison. We'll see a lot of this as the season wears on. Towards the outer side, up goes Maynard, who was suspended in the Foster's Cup last season. Away comes Hart towards midfield. Smart, well up the ground, alongside the centre circle. Thought about going. Now goes wide of the mark and kicks towards right half forward. Handley leads in the race. McCartney is with him now. The boundary line is looming. Handley, well aware of that, finds it, slapping it across. So just under 11 minutes till quarter time. And the Crows are 1-2. The Cats are 2 behind.
Interesting with Sean Wren still being at full forward. Young Lee Colbert picking him up. But at this stage, they're really looking for goals with this slight breeze, aren't they?
Handley wins the tap. But the kick is smothered off the boot of Lynch and the ball going out of play. Well, both teams missing some players. Missing for Adelaide the likes of Modra, Liptak, Bickley, who's been made vice-captain this year, and Wiedemann. And missing, of course, for the Cats, Gary Hocking, Brownless, and Barry Stoneham. And we just wonder when we'll see Big Barry back. Lynch buried in the tackle. He was sandwiched and holding the ball, says the umpire. Brown takes it quickly to McDermott. Puts it high. Chance here for Hall. Oh, Tony Hall, a magnificent mark overhead.
It's a great lesson for a young fellow, Sanderson, playing from behind then. Actually went to swish at the ball, and so therefore the percentage of the ball that you're going to hit's narrower. You really should try and use it like a tomahawk. If you look at this fist, swishing across, you only actually hit a small part of the ball. Hitting down through the ball like a tomahawk is a better way to spoil. He's really got to learn how to do that.
Ball just 30 metres out. It's close. He might have missed this. He has, just to the right-hand side. So bad miss for Tony Hall. He'd back him 9 times out of 10 there. So the Crows, 1 goal, 3 leading the Cats, 2 behind.
Ken Hinkley in the bright sunshine at Footy Park. Himself again.
That rule's made for blokes like Ken Hinkley, isn't it? He'll just run off there all day.
This is Lord. Well, it certainly changes the nature of bringing the ball out, doesn't it?
I think it's a great compromise, really.
Up in front, Barnes. Tanner didn't have the ball. It spills wide. McGuinness overran it. Pittman stood up in the tackle. Jarman quickly. McGuinness on the 50. Bacon goal square. Hall from behind. Great grab.
Boy, who needs Modra?
Well, he played only 11 games last season, so their twin attack of Modra and Hall just fell to pieces for one reason or another. But on his day, he's terrific. He got 25 goals in those 11 matches. His best was 6 against Essendon in round 23. Here he is from 15 metres out. The Crows get their second.
She sacrificed everything to protect her child.
Because I need him.
Her marriage, her daughter's love. But does she have the courage to let go?
My son is damaged. This is as good as it gets.
To give up the one thing that matters most.
You know how he is. I know how you let him be.
Inspired by the remarkable true story.
I won't let him get their hands on you.
Kirstie Alley in her Emmy Award-winning role.
I may not be special. You sure as hell are.
A movie premiere to capture your heart. David's Mother, 8:30 tonight on 7.
Back in the middle, and a handy break now to the Crows. They've kicked the only 2 goals of the game so far. Jarman out of the middle. Clears the centre square, but only on the chest of Ken Hinkley, who marks at centre half back for the Cats. He's kicked to half forward. And he's well directed. And Liam Pickering takes the mark. He's mixed cricket with football, and he's got real cricket weather here. But he's playing footy out there. Centering kick. Oh, what a pick up by Ablett. Flicks it over his head to McGrath. McGrath plays it out in front of him. Then goes back into the pack. Tanner is there. Ablett harassed through on Pittman. McGrath another chance. Good pick up once again. 45 metres from goal. Concedes some ground. And seeing plenty of it is Lynch. He goes across the ground again. They're no closer. And Pickering is 55 metres out. fluky sort of a
Simpson
breeze.
was by himself. Just snuck up then beautifully. This is this loose play they're playing.
Yeah, he's done well there, Simpson. The breeze is a bit fluky. Probably the Cats have it, even though McGuinness won the toss and elected to go the other way. Kick by Simpson, won't make it, and Pittman takes the mark in front of the behind post.
Short pass towards half-back. Brown's got it, but the ball, I think, will come back. Brown. And passes back, indicating just how short the kick was. And Pittman's got it. Much improved player. Eventually, he will kick it, believe me. Here he is. He drives it towards the outer side. Uncontested, Wellman goes up. Kicks towards the wing now, storming up the ground. Rashudo in front, strong mark, one grab. Very well done. Hard to take those, moving at full pace. The kick not particularly good though. Tanner will get back, a former South Australian, hard against the boundary line, looking for support. Barnes did nicely for a big man. Lord has to kick it quickly. He does. Gained only about 15 metres. Mansfield was up, couldn't hang on, but he was held on too, and he'll get a free kick right on the wing.
Certainly the most improved player in the competition last year, bar none, I'd suggest. Michael Mansfield ended up getting an All-Australian, and he's really carrying on with it early in this game today.
Played only 9 games the previous season. Brewer, almost a spectacular mark there to Ablett, trying to crash his way through his shoal. It spills across to McGrath. Open goal, and he goes and he gets it for the Cats.
Them mangoes are quiet, you know. Yeah, I know. Roomy too. Outside Camry last year. I know, 2.6 litre or a 3 litre V6 engine, you know. Really? There you go, Tim. You learn something new every day. Didn't learn nothing new yesterday.
Seven-point lead to the Crows. Not a great bounce in the middle. Knocked one by Pittman. Wren hasn't done any rucking at all yet. He's down on the forward line. And the umpire will ball it up just near the centre circle. Many of departures from Geelong's list of last year. Bairstow, Darcy, Scott, Forsman, Steele, Wills, Steve Hocking and O'Reilly. So a lot of gaps to fill. Rashudo, a little kick, not much gain in distance. Down goes Simpson. The umpire said it was a free kick to Simpson. Advantage is paid. Comes up the ground here to Lynch. They double team Ablett, but he might keep it in. That's in the back to Ablett. No, the umpire calls for a throw-in.
Would have told me the first one looked legit, the second one looked in the back.
So we'll have a throw-in, and it's about 35 metres around from the goal square. Here's Tanner at the back, snapping for goal. Might get it. Oh, it's a poster. Whistle's gone. It's a Crows free kick. There's no score for that. And a free kick to be taken, not by Jamison. He gives it across to Powell.
It goes to Jamison.
Powell playing pretty tightly on Peter Riccardi too. I think probably the Crows have done their homework on Peter. He's really starting to step up to be a good, consistent contributor.
Maynard the target out there, fisted away. Boundary throw in. Just outside the 50. There's the Crows bench. Connell in the distance. Lee, Pesh, and Robrin on the left. Pittman goes up, knocks it down. In front, McGuinness. His 10th season. Tracks it towards the boundary line out of bounds. The new skipper needs another 12 games in the regular season to become the first Crow to play 100.
And McDermott will beat him.
Fell behind, taken by Pittman. Bregenza close to the line. Over it is Lord. The hand pass finds McKinnon. He's away. Kicks down towards the 50. Rashudo full-chested. Still he goes, Rashudo, back to goal. Headed out nicely. Maynard, 65 metres out. Centres the ball. Wren.
Yes, it's going to happen, isn't it? I mean, just occasionally 6 inches more than as he chips it across now to the ex-skipper McDermott, and bang for the third goal.
The Crows stretch their lead.
Yes, just occasionally that's going to happen, isn't it, with that 6'6" bloke and as agile as Wren is. I mean, Lee Colbert is really going to have some trouble on the odd occasion. I think it's the movement as we watch now. As we watch this come in, he just kept him out of it, and Lee Colbert was out of it.
So Chris
Matthew
McDermott
Robin coming on.
Yeah, and McDermott going back to his position as a spare man in defence. His real position is actually somewhere behind centre half back, but he kicked the goal. Back in the middle, and Robin has come on for Pittman. Rasciuto hand pass. Barnes slaps it back. And now they're off and running. This is Scholl, ex-North Melbourne. Ablett got very high, got a hand to it. Hall, ex-West Coast Eagle. Left footer coming back a bit. Not quite enough. And is that out on the full? It is. And it'll be a Geelong free kick into play right alongside the behind post. So a pretty tough assignment here for Lynch. He'll be looking to pass backwards, which he does, and there's not much pressure as Lord takes the mark, only 30 metres from goal.
Aaron Lord's, he's the wingman playing on Tregenza on the other side of the ground, and he's got a great ability to find space for himself when in control and going forward. Simpson's actually been picked up now, and it's Couch and McDermott playing loose off the back.
Kick by Lord is a goal.
Now, Flintware have got the whole town covered with 2 big locations, 1199 South Road St Mary's and now 163 Main North Road Nailsworth. Flintware, North and South, where your tools are our trade.
When you're playing the international circuit, it's always important to choose the right club. The Qantas Club.
Only Qantas gives you the comfort of your own club around Australia and the world.
Crows by 7 points, just over 4 minutes till quarter time. Robin went up, beaten for it though. Scholl taken high, he'll get the free kick. Barnes is doing well in the centre. This is Tanner, who kicks inside the 50. Wide went Hall, it was knocked away by Hart, crashing through Brewer. Well played. Now Couch measures the kick and misses to the right-hand side. Should have done better with that.
Interesting, Paul Couch going back to that centre-half forward rather than the back of the square. He's actually dragged McDermott down onto him. And really is playing centre-half forward. I didn't see I think Couchy plays centre-half forward.
That's where he was for that last opening, the last centre bounce.
Tasker drives it back towards midfield. Smart was very high, pouncing on the crumbs. McGuinness loves this situation. 4 bounces. Doesn't take a fifth. He kicks from about 80 metres out. They'll contest about 40 from goal. Maynard was up, got hands to it, couldn't hang on, but gets away, kicks and kicks cruelly.
Yes, unfortunately, great play by Maynard then. One of the problems, of course, was that Sean Simpson went to ground in the contest, and doing that and the other player keeps his legs, as we watched this great sweep from McGuinness. Probably trademark, probably one of the great things to watch in football is a flying Tony McGuinness. We watch this kick in, Sean Simpson coming back, really loses his footing, and there's his man, keeps his feet, the difference between good and sometimes average.
So we're back in the middle, and it looks to me like the Crows are going into the breeze in this first quarter, and they're 4-3 to 2-3.
Yeah, at times though, you called the wind fluky, at times I've looked up and it sort of wafted back the other way.
Barnes wins in the middle, but the Crows haven't played their trump card on the ball yet. Sean Wren. Real mess in there. Eventually they clear the ball through Tregenza. Front edge of the centre square. Silences the umpire, and now that'll be a ball up. Sean Simpson, 37 for the Cats. Played in the 92 grand final. Ex-St Kilda player. Now a lot of players around this for the ball up. Crows by 2 goals. Robin, neither ruckman got to it. Is that Aussie rules or rugby? The umpire will sort it out again. The senior umpire, Peter Russo, in charge. Late in the first quarter, about 2.5 minutes to go to quarter time. Warm conditions at Footy Park. Ball belted out of there. Tregenza kicked a couple of goals, which is a rarity for him in a practice game against Melbourne 9 days ago. Maynard kicked the last goal and got very high that time. Hinkley. So much time, Ken Hinkley. Straight up the ground of Barnes.
Plays on immediately. The run provided by Riccardi, draws a man, pops it over the top. Great chance now for the Cats. Well done by Scholl. Here's McGrath, 35 metres out. Hit it on his left foot, though. What can he do here? He threads it nicely for his second.
Isn't it time you stopped renting and started owning? Well, here's the key. Rosewood at Elizabeth. For just $500 deposit and with fixed repayments from $85 a week, you can own your own home at Rosewood Elizabeth. And just look at what Rosewood offers you. Tree-lined streets, delightfully landscaped parks and gardens, and a real choice of quality housing. Call into the Rosewood Sales and Information Centre for details about the best real estate value and the best home loans in town. A Rosewood Advantage loan, the key to your new home at Elizabeth.
So, interesting game so far. The Crows lead it by 6 points. Barnes is dominating, gets it down. The hand pass came from Pickering, intercepted. Rashudo finishes up with the ball from McKinnon, boots it down towards half forward. McCartney controlled it pretty well, goes back to find it, surely in the back. Whoa. Held to him, says the umpire.
I thought it was a great decision, Dennis. I thought both players were falling, and I thought the tackle was from the side.
Good to have you back. So about just inside the 50. We're down to 130. McCartney lost it. This is Wellman running away from his own goal. Crashing in was Pickering on all fours. Somehow managed to get it to Tanner, who boots it towards the middle, setting Barnes a task. He tried to knock it across to support Lord. Well played, though, by Tregenza. Rodgren comes away, running down towards half forward.
Long kick, chance for Wren with Colbert. Wren dragged to ground, keeps the ball in play for Hall, but Hall can do nothing except take it over the boundary line.
Johnny Barnes is going to be in for a big day. Shane Crothers is on the bench, who's probably the relief ruckman, and but John Barnes is really going to be pinged off if both Pittman and then Robran, then Sean Wren. It's going to be a hard day.
Wren wins this boundary throw-in. Down goes Tanner, unceremoniously dumped. The umpire will ball it up.
Hasn't he come on, though, John Barnes? He was really a bonus for you, Malcolm, while you were there.
Yes, his last 3 years he's been a very good player.
Yeah.
Umpire Russo wanting a bit of room, and he sent Simpson off here with blood. And they're very quick to get them off these days, and so they won't start play again until the replacement comes out, so we'll have a bit of a hold-up here.
And James McClure coming on for his first run in senior football. Had a 12-month stint at Collingwood in the seconds and was a very good player in Geelong early last year until injured on the supplementary list, and has thoroughly deserved his spot on the major list and a trip to Adelaide.
James McClure. So now we'll have the ball up in the forward pocket. Crows in attack. They lead 4-3 to 3-3. Good bright opening to this game at Football Park. Wren and Handley. Oh, roving by McGuinness. Left foot snap. Hall, well placed. Tony Hall. Well, that's sensational play. They won it in a ruck to the rover who was brilliant, McGuinness. And as Malcolm said, there's no finer sight than McGuinness at full tilt. Didn't he read that beautifully? And Hall has marked brilliantly in front of goal.
Interesting, that pushback on the body from Sanderson again. It's one of the things you've got to learn. If you're going to be a mean and hungry defender, you've got to come back hard with the body and just upset the forward.
Hall for his second goal. Missed it.
Once again, it's that running, isn't it? I mean, there's just no balance in it. 95% of kicks at training are done on the run. Very few blokes actually practice goal kicking other than 5 or 6, and they don't go through any system. But it really don't get enough momentum and end up poking at the ball. I really like to see a bit of pace up when you kick for a goal.
Tony Hall's kicked 1 goal, 2, and he's 2 misses from inside 30 metres. Kick in by Colbert, right on the siren for quarter time. Mansfield takes the mark at half-back. So there we are, quarter time, in this 8th and last match in the first round of the Ansett Australia Cup. And a bright, entertaining start here at Football Park with the Crows 4-4-28, leading Geelong 3-3-21. And Tim McGrath, who's kicked only 4 goals in his league career, got 2 in 1 quarter there. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. Lord kicked 1 for the Cats, and singles all to the Crows. Hall, McDermott, Maynard and Wellman. And there's Gary Ayres out there, your replacement. Malcolm, did you have a nice relaxing quarter in the commentary box?
It was actually a bit different. It was just good to see the moves of the 2 coaches. You know, both Robert Shaw, we know, will be innovative. That's what he did at Fitzroy. And Gary Ayres, certainly towards the back half of last year, started to get a bit more innovative with the young second side at Geelong. I would think that both coaches would be pretty happy at the moment. Very, very competitive first quarter. Some good skills, just occasionally poor kicking skills, but I thought the tackling from both sides was very good. They're both pretty pumped up sides today.
Yeah, really having a dip. And there's Jarman. We might get out of here before Jarman disgraces himself. Quarter time, 4-4 to 3 goals 3.
Coming soon, 4 quarters. A Friday night footy extravaganza with Sandy Roberts, Wayne Carey, Tim Watson and the team. Only on 7.
For the very best value in roof restoration and roller shutters, call Bromalco on 349-4666. Bromalco's streamlined roller shutters insulate, reduce noise, and keep out burglars. Bromalco's roof restoration will restore your roof from this to this. What a difference! Bromalco guaranteed to beat any genuine quote on roller shutters and roof restoration, and will not be beaten on price or quality. Call Bromalco now on 349-4666. That's 349-4666. Bromalco, the name you can trust. Macleay's Coghlan Street Bulk Store huge expansion sale. Now twice as many carpet rolls and remnants on display, with 25,000 square feet of carpets, rugs and vinyls at bargain prices, including carpet from $25 a metre. Half and three-quarter rolls of Feltex wool carpet and Staymaster plush, all reduced by 40%. Hundreds of rugs from $25 with a new shipment just arrived. Discontinued vinyls down by $30 a metre. Macleay's incredible bulk store, Coghlan Street, Brompton, now twice as many carpet rolls to select from.
$41,968 with driver's side airbag. There's only one Jeep.
Impulse Shutters' end of summer sale is now on. You can buy one shutter and get the second one half price. Buy two and get the third one at no charge. And Impulse will trade in your old blinds and awnings, giving you even more savings. Buy one, get the second one at half price. Buy two, get the third one at no charge. Call Impulse Shutters now on 371-2888. That's 371-2888 and save on all your roller shutter requirements.
Hey, what's the hurry?
Just showing off my new car.
Nice. So how'd you get the wheels?
Got a loan.
You got a loan?
Quick approval, low rates. I was on the road in no time.
Great. Do I need a chauffeur? Shove over. I've got to go to the gym, pick up the dry cleaning, things to buy, shopping and...
Hey, hands off.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
You don't need a chauffeur. You need a credit union.
Take control. Contact your local credit union.
7-point lead to the Crows at quarter time, 4-4-28 to 3 goals 3-21. Down on the boundary line, Neil Kirby.
Thank you, Drew. Yes, and they did it kicking into a slight breeze, and the breeze has picked up, and it's going to right and left of the screen, which will favour the Crows this quarter. Gary Ayres was very quiet, but he caught his on-ballers aside. I think he's a bit concerned about the way McGuinness has been able to break through and find space, and then, of course, use his great pace to break away with the ball. I know he had a good chat with his on-ballers, and they were sort of plotting a plan to, I think, put a block in front of McGuinness's movement. Both teams are working very, very hard. It's very hot down here, and I think today we're going to see a survival of the fittest. It's certainly going to be big demands placed on John Barnes, and Malcolm would, I guess, know who's going to support him in ruck, but the Crows had the three, of course, with Pittman, Robran and Wren to throw against him, so Barnes is going to have his work cut out to see this game out and be a dominant player. But both sides are going in very, very hard. The tackling is very good, and they're exploiting the loose man all over the ground. Both sides are taking advantage of this, and the delivery of the ball is very good. The Crows' first quarter into the breeze was a very, very good one.
Yes. Thanks, girls. Let's take a look at the pre-season history of these two clubs. Of course, the Crows don't go back very far, and the Crows played just 12 pre-season games, and last year their best result was a runner-up. They lost the grand final to Essendon. Whereas Geelong have, well, they've won less than they've lost, and 4 of the last 5 years they've lost their first game in the competition.
Yes, thanks for that, Drew, for pointing that out.
I seem to remember you've had a lot of these games in extreme heat.
Yes, we actually caught the Crows on their first ever official AFL game and got a thumping. Geelong have struggled a little bit at Football Park, but the last 2 games we've played here are in the 20-point region. So there is some confidence building within the Geelong players.
Start of the second term, the margin 7 points. Barnes had to wait for it. As a result, Pittman knocked it away. Jarman Sockers inside the 50. Hinkley off the ground out wider. Scholes in front. Brown's after him. Strong Shepherd from Handley. The kick comes back towards the wing. The mark is dropped out there by Hart. Picked up by Sanderson. Hand passes down towards left half forward where Couch leads in the race. McDermott after him. Couch feeds it back. Nicely done. The long hand pass towards the boundary line from Brewer, intended for McGrath. Never a chance. Out of bounds will be thrown in. A rueful look from Tim McGrath, who's got 2 goals this afternoon.
Yes, that's where you'd like to see Shane Brewer's got enormous pace. He does try and play the team game, but just like to see him run with the ball a bit more and open up that way.
Behind the pack, Scholl in trouble. Clever by Tanner. Got it to Barnes. Sanderson on the forward line at the present time. From right on the 50, down towards full forward. In from the side, Tasker. But it's going to be a free kick and it's going to Adelaide. Held by Jamison, according to the umpire. It was only about 15 metres away.
Yeah, these are always interesting decisions, and I know some people are critical of Gary Ablett, but Gary Ablett is trying to hold his ground, and then just as you saw Tasker come over the top, Jamison pulled him back by the arm, and in the interpretation of the law, that is a free kick.
He fitted 124 goals in 24 matches last season. From 15 metres out. He's missed, I think. He has. Misses to the left-hand side. Most uncharacteristic. Would have been a handy goal to start the second term.
Interesting. Tony Hall's missed a couple from there too.
Looks as though the breeze might be right across them from anywhere out in this pocket. And some good goal scorers have missed some close-in shots. Straight kick the difference as Jamison kicks in. Plenty of distance with the breeze. Rasciuto, right half-back flank. His left footer up to centre wing. Solid contact from behind by Mansfield. Free kick to Brown. Taken in a hurry. To centre half forward. Handley from behind punches. Oh, that's a high tackle. And McCartney will take the free kick. Against Pickering. Jason McCartney.
What suggests you got him by the jump? Got him by the jumper then. It's actually not a high tackle, is it? Grab him by the jumper.
McCartney kicked 4 goals 9 days ago in the trial game against Melbourne over here. And a good display. Can kick it long. And this is a long kick. Shepherd home for a goal.
This week, driver's safety airbags. Which ones work?
A large number of people who've had serious accidents but have been disappointed when the airbag didn't deploy.
The right choice could save your life. Prostitution in South Australia.
All the health fire indemnation predictions that were made about it just simply haven't occurred.
And BHP, the big Australian, found guilty. Today Tonight tells Adelaide why. 6:30 weeknights on 7.
5-4 plays 3-4. Margin actually 12 points as the Rucks go at it. Pittman gets it down. Loose on the ground. Socked by McGuinness towards centre half forward. McCartney. Oh, that's interesting.
So jump ball?
Jump ball, eh?
I think so. Don't often see that. So bounce just outside the 50. Handley and McCartney locking it up there.
Need Shane Crothers out there. Former Super Cat.
Grabbed by Wellman. Pulls it back towards the middle. Awkward half volley. Just bounces past Hall. Now Colbert and Simpson get back. Colbert hugs the boundary line with a kick and finds support there. It's Scholl. Scholl drives it around the outer side. Barnes goes up. His arm was being held by Jarman. Advantage is paid. And they work the ball down towards half forward. Pickering, a good kick. He spots Hickmott on the ground now.
Because Sanderson's off and Hickmott now on the ground.
And 50. That comes Maynard. And this will take him, I think, to stand the mark just inside the 50. So Adrian Hickmott, a chance to score from here. Now he decides to centre the ball. Ablett comes on the lead. Tregenza gets in the hole and does very well.
Great man.
Ablett bearing down is not the best thing in the world for anybody contemplating a mark. This is Jamison. He's away, running away from half-back. He's side in front by 12 points. He boots it down towards half-forward. Tailor-made for Barnes. And he comes across uncontested.
Well, he has got a big job, John Barnes, but he's doing it all right.
Hall's been now moved to the fence to replace Sanderson, and as I said, Hickman on the ground up the forward line.
Hall got it to Hinkley. Kicked by Hinkley. Bounces into the arms of Adelaide. Goes for the hand pass too far out. The further hand pass comes up from Lord. And a bounce. Can't tell me he's going to get 3 in one game. It hits the post. Tim McGrath has kicked 2 goals and 2 posters.
Yeah, interesting kick that. I always reckon you aim for 1 metre inside the right-hand goal post on the run. Always line yourself up there, and Timmy's aimed straight at it.
McDermott pops it over the top. Jamison to Pittman. Gary Ayres would have been riding that last kick. 3 goals and a half constitutes a masterstroke. There goes Maynard, his first masterstroke. It would have been Malcolm. Ball around midfield for a shootout. Now a clash at the halls. And Tony takes the mark about 35 metres out.
It's interesting, isn't it? You get a player like Tony Hall, who's been around the scene and a veteran now of football terms, but a smart veteran. And just his use of the body, you've had 2 youngsters, real youngsters in Sanderson, now Hall. And sometimes both of them are going to get a lesson on how to use their body. And that's fine in the context of this game. Not all that as you look through the season, though, you really must learn quickly.
He's providing a good passage to goal. Ball from 35 metres out. Not a good kick. It slides off the outside of the boot. Out of bounds on the full. No off hands in the opposite pocket. So
once again, you just don't get enough momentum in your leg to kick that slowly.
Derek Hall and Tony Hall in the opposite pocket where the action is at the moment. Wren tries to reach back and find the ball. Didn't succeed. Brown slides in. Scholl thought he had it, but Brown, more desperate, ties it up. So it's 5-4, plays 3-5, and the Crows lead it.
Jamie Love, one of the umpires here today, doing his first AFL game. Mark Prince and John Russo, senior member of the trio. Brown, a snap for goal. Pretty close. Just missed, I fancy. Two straight kicks the margin, 5-5 to 3-5. Early stages of the second quarter. Hinkley kicks in towards the outer side of the ground. Here's Barnes, works his way to the front beautifully on Pittman and takes the mark.
Just showed his agility then, John Barnes. It was just terrific the way he manoeuvred himself in front.
Brewer over the centre circle. Couch hasn't had a lot of it. It's a high ball, hoisted up very high. Lord. Tanner to Couch. A kick by Couch to Ablett. Awkward one and he couldn't take it. Socket away by Jamison. Ben Hart leads the race. Well shepherded and Hart goes down the outer wing. Tries to centre the ball to Hall. Handley back there with Hall. And now Hinkley. Floats one across to Handley. And the kick by Handley, close to out of bounds. Couch marked it with a centimetre to spare. The crowd thought it was out.
He's operating in the confined space out there. He decides to run on close to the boundary line. Shocking kick, though. McGuinness picks it up, feeds the hand pass to Rashudo. Haven't seen a lot of him. He kicks inside the 50. The 2 hauls again. Derek did well that time. Got a hand back to deflect the ball. This is Colbert running away across his own full-back line. To the Mendes side. Kicks for the wing. Pickering will need to go. Couldn't complete the mark. Pregenza gets it away. McGuinness, he covered some ground. He kicks it to half-forward. Wellman marks 55 metres from goal. Got the first goal of the afternoon. Told to play on now. He kicks it down towards the kick-off line. Barnes goes back and does very well. But it's going to be a Geelong free kick to Derek Hall down there. Former West Coast Eagle. Had a couple of games for them back in '93. The 16th man taken in this pre-season draft. Played for Jeff Geesham, the assistant coach at Geelong. Very astute football mind. Brewer battles on the outer side, tied up. And a bounce. Jeff played over 20 games for Footscray, and that's a loss for WA footy. He was doing a terrific job at West Perth and obviously had a high opinion of Derek Hall and brought him across. Pittman gets it down to Jarman, the hurried kick, floats out of bounds on the floor.
Jarman on Pickering, it's been They really haven't been in a lot on the ball. They've certainly been on the eastern packs, but just haven't quite got the touches they normally get.
Here's Paul Lynch. Just behind half-back. Goes long to centre wing. Riccardi, right out of play. Hart. And Chris McDermott over the ball. Is he holding it? Couch reckons. The ball stays in. Helped by Maynard. Flick forward. Here's Ben Hart. And eventually it had to go out. Talk about Jeff Geeshan and the Footscray-West Perth connection. Very similar to your CV, Dennis.
My link wasn't that strong, but no, Jeff did a terrific job there. Took them to one grand final and third last season.
Jarman a clever tap. Wellman up to Tregenza. And he goes for one of his familiar runs with plenty of bounces. Simon Tregenza over the top. Wellman dishes it back to Brown. Left-footed to full forward. Hall again. Tony for Adelaide.
Yes, I looked up the ground as Brown ended up kicking that, and Tony Hall just backed towards goal. Brown saw it, and Hall just wasn't close enough to feel him, to sense that the player had ducked the other way. Once again, a great learning experience.
Well, this is another one for Tony Hall, where the breeze will be across him from there.
No, he'll kick this on his left foot.
Improves the angle, runs around, and does kick it.
You want to spill blood on the same patch of grass as the men that came before you. It doesn't separate men from boys. It tears them apart. Broken fingers, 2 shoulder reconstructions, 40 stitches in my face. I'd recommend the game to anyone. I've walked off the field with fewer points than my opponent, but I've never walked off the field a loser.
So the margin now out to 18 points, and you get the feeling Geelong could do with the next goal. Still plenty of time in this term. Wind assisted for the Crows. Over 11.5 minutes. Barnes, the backhander down. Only as far as Brown has been busy. McDermott, high kick towards half forward. Wellman in front, fisted away. Socket off the ground by Handley. Hit off the hand pass, got it across to Simpson. Not a good kick though. Robran put his body in, met solidly, but it spills across to Rasciuto. Low down, the mark is held by Connell. Another former West Coast Eagle. Made 3 games for them. Sends it very wide. Taken on the outer side by Tasker. McKinnon, a speedster from 55 metres out. Long kick, but a wayward one. It's out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket. Barnes immediately wants to send Geelong forward to Lynch on the outer side. This is Derek Hall.
Kick by Hall to the centre of the ground, and Couch does take the mark in front of McDermott. Goes out wide with his left footer, a task from McGrath. It sits up nicely for him. He's outnumbered 3-1. Very high, looking for Ablett. And it bounces away from Gary Ablett, straight to the arm of Jamison. Kick by Jamison, close to the boundary line. And the mark taken by McKinnon. Now Riccardi for the Cats. Good little hand pass. That was Scholl. They've lost it. Whoop. Flipped round the air, and a free kick was going to be paid to Jamison. Now advantage, McGuinness. Tony McGuinness. I reckon they're double teaming him, but somehow he gets out in the open time and time again like this. The kick by McGuinness is perfect. And the mark taken by McCartney. Back to McGuinness. He thumps it long this time. Wren's there. Can't take the mark. Free kick though.
Yes, well, that's fair enough. I mean, Gary Ablett got one down the other end, and once again, you can't go to Blake by the arm, and I think that's fair enough. As we look here, see Hanley just hanging on. I mean, you can't do that. Not allowed. Interesting that centre-half void ploy now with Geelong. The ball's gone there a few times, and there's been no tall player and no one really standing out there as a beacon, and it's just starting to fall down across there. I really think they need a taller centre-half forward option at the moment.
Ran from only 25 or 30 metres out, right across the face of goal. He was looking for the breeze to do a bit with that one. It was probably more at his back rather than across him. Anyway, out on the full.
Colbert jams it forward. This is Riccardi, still deep in the pocket. Now changes play to Barnes. What's on down the ground? Not a lot. Colbert has run up the ground. It needs to bounce for him. It does. Colbert's in trouble. Slung by Robran. Barnes and Colbert working a little 1-2, and now they include Mansfield, who goes over the top to Count, bearing down Jarman. He's a strong tackler, Jarman. Very good. He went the left side very well. He knew where Couch was going before Couch made the decision. The kick from Smart in short. Wellman, forward of the wing. Hall offers a lead, but it falls well short. Sanderson goes back and claims the mark. Now he squares the ball. Lynch, close to the boundary line. It runs on, but he keeps it in. And Geelong now just lacking a little conviction when they bring it out. And this kick finds Rashudo. So they're fiddling around across half-back, but nothing much developing for them. McKinnon on the end of this one. Now he can run at them from 55 metres out. That's a thumping kick. The two Halls again. And Tony takes the mark. Well, you can't stop that. In fact, it was Colbert, I think, who got back to body in that time. But that's a terrific effort.
What actually happens here, see, as the last push comes, Lee Colbert just stops, quits on him. He doesn't keep forcing it. It's very hard for one hand, as I understand. That's a great mark, but you must keep forcing your body back onto the player. Try and put him off somehow. He really did quit on it in the end.
Hall moves around, kicking at his third. I think he's got it. He has.
One Australian airline has been flying across this great country of ours for 75 years, opening up the outback, connecting the cities, bringing Australians together, which is why today no one knows Australia quite like the airline that calls it home.
Yes, the Cats have managed just 2 behinds in this quarter into the breeze, and Adelaide have gone 3 goals 1. Robrin gets it down in the middle, and the Crows go forward up towards the 50. McGuinness behind Tanner this time. Tanner's hand pass to Hall. Floats it over the top. Lynch. And Sanderson. Chest mark taken by McDermott, the veteran. Finds the youngster. And across, that is a perfect kick. Here's Jamison coming from fullback, running off Ablett, and he got the perfect kick from Hart. Kick by Jamison from centre wing. Hall again, another mark. Well, he's marked them, backing into them, falling backwards one-handed, and springing up the ground, marking in front of his face.
Didn't we see some precision kicking there, though?
Yes. Lee Colbert now on Hall, of course, and Hanley back onto Wren.
Wren works to the front, but Handley punches to the front. Sanderson just gets the hand pass away. Lynch. Kick by Lynch. There's nobody there for Geelong. Connell takes the mark. In between wing and half forward. It's been the Crows' quarter. Kick by Connell. Wren. Not quite this time. Rashudo front of the pack. Not great off the left boot. Colbert left his man Hall and backed himself and won. But his fearing kick not too good. Wellman. Sean Wellman, another youngster. And it's fair to say that the clubs outside the Melbourne suburban clubs just keep on coming up with depth, and the supply from a whole state of football seems never ending. A kick by Wellman gets on the breeze and gets out of bounds.
Although in all fairness now, the Crows have joined the rest of the competition. I mean, there's no concessions for the Crows at all. It hasn't been for a couple of years, so it's development of what they've got and recruiting from here only.
Mansfield told to kick it again.
And one of the interesting things is only got 2 years of concession and the Eagles got 5 years.
Yes, well, they knew their local product in both cases, didn't they? Yes. And they stocked up pretty well.
And Fremantle, although, are only getting 2 years with half the WAFL competition. So it's the concessions are getting less.
How many did Sydney get?
Well, they bought half of Geelong at the time, I think.
Here's Hall on the outer side to Barnes. And this has been symptomatic of the way they've built from the back.
Yes, Paul Lynch is getting a lot of kicks. Sorry, Dennis. Paul Lynch is getting a lot of kicks, but they're all at the back half. They need to get something going forward.
Mansfield kicks towards centre half forward. Loose ball, pitches and runs on. Smart left it behind, taken by Ablett. McGrath's on for the short one. Ablett would need to kick this, and he's missed. Well, he looked up, he saw McGrath. He was about 20 metres on by himself. And Ablett went for goal. Still, it is early in the season. And maybe he's just honing his skills. 7-5 to 3-6 as the kick comes in. Members side, big leap from Robert. Hits the ground. Hart's got it. Tregenza a speedster. He can run right down to half forward. Problems for the Cats. Tregenza 60 metres out, sets it up. Ball behind. In fact, Wren almost the mark. Tries to move the ball on, snaps and misses.
Fantastic movement from the Crows, which we noted for us. John Barnes gets a well-earned rest, and Shane Crothers comes on to relieve him in the ruck. One of the problems just watching Tim McGrath, they've actually moved him to centre half forward now. Tim's just getting a bit lost. Sometimes at centre half forward you've got to stand there and make him kick it to you to get the blokes run to you. He's just moving around a bit too much and a bit too wide. Great mark.
Excellent mark by Hickmott.
Can do that.
Who spent the first quarter and a half on the bench. Now away to Riccardi. His kick up towards centre wing. Scholl goes to ground. The ball goes out of play. And we'll have a boundary throw in. Two players there, Brewer and Riccardi. Reasonably quiet for the Cats today. There's Crothers, 38. Former basketballer at NBL level with the Geelong Super Cats. And the ball out of play. 7-6 plays 3 goals, 6. Ablett goalless so far, 2 behinds in this quarter. It's worked to the back by Robran to Jarman. His kick just outside the 50. Wellman can't quite mark. Just gets boot to ball. Kick goes very wide. Cats first back there. Mansfield. Good pass. Riccardi left it. Lord takes it. Crothers dives and doesn't take the mark. Maynard, the hand pass. McCartney, Tregenza. Here they go. Robran has it. Draws a man. McKinnon. There's a long kick of the ball and McKinnon's got it.
Now, Flintware have got the whole town covered with 2 big locations, 1199 South Road St Mary's and now 163 Main North Road Nailsworth. Flintware, North and South, where your tools are our trade.
For a limited time only, Bank SA introduces a new home loan rate that's fixed for the first year. And when we say fixed, we mean fixed. Phone Bank SA for a home loan that works for you.
The margin out to 5 goals now on this hot day at Football Park. Crothers gets it down. Awkward bounce for Scholl. They go in pretty solidly. Jarman standing up. McKinnon tried to hand pass to the Crows' advantage. Emerging with the ball on the outer side is Scholl. Advantage is paid. He kicks inside the 50. Ablett props in front. Fisted away by Jamison. Down in front, Couch. Hickmott. Low kick. Good kick.
Yes, and you have to say very much needed by Geelong. Some better work. Scholl's an interesting player. Just watching him today, probably closely for the first time. He just his finish sometimes. This was a reasonable kick to Ablett, not great under no pressure. And if he can just get the ball in front of him, Gary Ablett had to prop and cop and all that. Couchy, right-handed puncher. Couchy on the right-hand side of the pack, perfect. And Adrian Hickmott, who is a bit of a goal kicker, hasn't kicked a lot, but can kick goals.
So we're back in the middle. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Robran, who hasn't played since '93 after breaking his leg. This one comes down to McGuinness. Very high ball. Wellman, nearly 60 metres out from goal. He's got Hall, who's been leaping a mile, and Wren, who's a mile high. That ball was just cut off by Mansfield before it got to Hall. Snapped by Pesh offline. Through for a behind.
I think the player with Sanderson coming back on is Ken Hinkley's gone off. Wellman is very, very lively in that forward line. I don't know anything wrong with Ken Hinkley, but certainly Sanderson back on the ground again.
3.5 minutes to half-time. Here's Derek Hall kicking in. Finds Scholl. Tony Hall comes in hard on Scholl. Tony Hall has got 3 goals. Modra got 6 in a practice game against Melbourne. Didn't play the entire game. So the forward line, perhaps, as Wren takes a very good mark, the key for the Crows this season. Tregenza to Connell. Sends it back inside the 50. Hall wants front spot. It was fisted away. Opportunity for Mansfield. Pesh putting his body in. Still Pesh is going. Claimed by Mansfield. And the umpire no alternative but to bounce it down. Robert Shaw talking very much about getting a unit back in defence and building from there. But last season, the Crows had 5 goalless quarters. If you want to put that in context, in the last 3 years, Geelong had 1. They've got to generate some goals as Lynch gets it away to Pickering. Across it comes to Scholl. Bumped off the kick. It bounces to midfield. Jarman's over the ball. Slaps it out. Taken by Connell. He was taken high. Hooks it inside the 50. And the free kick to Hall.
This is Derek Hall, formerly of the West Coast Eagles. His kick up the centre wing. Well, there's really no Geelong player in that hole there. They've got to get the crumbs at ground level, and they can't, so the umpire will ball it up. Right on the Ansett logo. Umpire wipes his brow. Very warm day in Adelaide. Robran easily palms it down to Jarman. Now it's Connell. Long ball to full forward. Wren. Off hands to Pesh. He bounces off. Finds support. Here's McKinnon again. But he missed this time. One goal, one, and one out of bounds. So full house to Marty McKinnon. 56 plays 30.
Under 2 minutes till half-time. Lee Colbert bring it back in. An emerging young player. Some indecision. Now he drives it long towards the outer side. Handley's the target out there. Knocked away by Wren. McKinnon has taken front on. Through with the tackler. And the ball up. What's the umpire on about? There's something on down the ground. On the other half-forward line. As McCartney comes off, Lee is coming on. And umpire's gone across on the Geelong half-forward line to inspect the player's knee as to whether it was bleeding, I think. Hence the delay. Eventually, play restarts. Trying to crash his way through Scholl. Gets the kick away. Couch comes to meet it. Bounces off his chest. He's met solidly by Rasciuto. Picked up by Robran, who boots inside the 50. Going back is Connell. He's marked this one about 35 metres out from goal. Good effort, that. The lead at the present time is 26 points. Now, Matt Connell couldn't win a regular spot with the West Coast Eagles, but as a midfield runner, that's understandable. Maybe he'll get his chance here with the Adelaide Crows. The Eagles just so laden with players of that ilk. There goes the kick from Connell. It's a goal.
Yes, interesting player, Matthew Connell. First real run now for the Crows as we watch this in replay. Scholl again gets that quick kick forward. Couch and Tregenza have a bit of what to do in the middle, and that quick kick again from Robran. Good on ground level, and just found some space for himself. And a difficult chest mark running back because you never quite know sometimes, Dennis.
That's right. Gutsy effort.
Well, the Crows have more than doubled the Cats' score now. They lead by 32 points. With a scrap in the middle, well done by Robran, but he loses control to Pickering. Round the corner, Riccardi. Just forward of the centre circle, Peter Riccardi. Pokes one over the top to Brewer, 55 metres out. Gets running support on the outside by McClure. He's punched away from Ablett to the front of the pack. And a further little soccer has set things up now for the Adelaide Crows. Tregenza to Lee, who's just come on the ground. Close to half-time. The kick to the 50. Wellman, no mark. Comes to Derek Hall. Slides across to Sanderson. Here's Simpson for Geelong. And that probably would be the last. We won't get any more scoring for the half. Across the ground. Pickering's hand pass is good. Tanner through the middle. And time's run out just as the Cats score. Couch mark just after the siren right in front. 40 metres out. But it was a quarter absolutely dominated by the Crows. And they lead 9-8-62 to 4 goals, 6-30. And Tony Hall in that quarter was brilliant. Marked everything and kicked a couple of goals and has 3 goals, 2 to the long break. Leading goal scorer for Geelong is Tim McGrath, who has 2 goals, 2. But what do you think about that, Malcolm? When the Crows got a bit of breeze, they really used the ball beautifully, didn't they?
Yes, they did, actually. And without harping on it, I just think across half forward there, the structure of the side into the breeze just didn't look right for Geelong. And I think Tim McGrath, not having played a lot of there in the last few years, has just struggled into the breeze, and the ball was either dropping short or going over his head. I'm a great believer in sometimes He just kicked the ball on top of his head, but I'm sure Gary Hurst will talk to him at half-time and he'll learn from it.
So at half-time at Football Park, Adelaide 9-8-62, Geelong 4-6-30.
Fly the new Qantas business class to Hong Kong any day of the week. And with all the extra legroom, you'll feel like you're the only person on the flight.
My prediction for the World Cup: pain. Don't get in the way because we're going to tackle you.
There's no better feeling than winning against the best in the world. Well, that's just what Holden Statesman has achieved, beating Europe's finest, to be chosen by the two largest automobile associations in Australia as the best luxury car in its class. And to confirm Statesman's superiority, it's also been awarded the Australian Design Award. Now, who said winning isn't everything? And that's why there's nothing quite like a Holden.
We're the mechanics from Liverpool. We come to fix your car. From the guys from Liverpool. For a tune-up to an engine overhaul. They fix my car. They fix my car. They fix the car. For the clutch or the brakes or a full inspection, Liverpool we come to you, Liverpool.
After hours of training, the water feels like sand. Sure, it hurts. But not as much as losing.
Except for me. Sure, you join for free, but you got to spend heaps. Oh, it'll take forever. I'll be visiting my grandchildren. Name me one person who has. Christmas? Which Christmas are we talking about?
Nasal decongestants. How safe are they? Short-term relief could be causing problems for thousands of South Australians who use them. A special report tonight at 6.
Nobody knows Adelaide like 7.
Tonight, Journey to
the Vinyl Frontier.
For multi-award-winning comedy about parenthood.
Little thing called the umbilical cord.
Hello, he's 9. He's cordless now.
All new home improvement. 7:30 tonight on 7.
In that quarter with the Breeze, the Crows added 5 goals 4 to Geelong. Just 1 goal into the Breeze, 1 goal 3, and the margin's 32 points at half-time. Tony Hall has kicked 3 goals 2. He's the only multiple goal scorer for Adelaide, and the only multiple for Geelong is Tim McGrath, who's kicked 2 goals 2. Well, the man who hasn't been amongst the goals so far has been Gary Ablett, who's goalless to half-time. He's kicked just 2 behinds. He had a pretty easy shot at one stage in that second quarter and missed from about 25 metres. But late last week he was in a sporting contest of an entirely different matter when he was in the ring testing his boxing prowess against former world champion Lester Ellis.
Asking Geelong's favourite son to step in the ring with him seemed like a good idea to Lester. After all, what better way to build hype for a world title fight in Geelong? But what Ellis didn't count on was Ablett's ability with the gloves and his competitive spirit. Ellis is preparing for his 4th world title, moving up a division to lightweight. But that's still 35 kilos lighter than Ablett. More than once Ellis was tagged, but he made sure the champion full forward didn't get away scot-free.
How was the fight, mate? It's very good. Right, come on, it was better. He's got a good leg hook.
And just to show there were no hard feelings, Ablett gave Ellis a Cats warm-up jacket.
And I'd like to wish you all the best to be a world title fight on the 10th of March at the arena in Geelong. Thanks very much. Thank you. Mate, if he was 61 kilos, I wouldn't fight him.
I wouldn't fight him at any price, but maybe that's Gary Ablett's pre-season training, because he hasn't been playing any practice matches. This is his first game for the season, so we'll forgive him a little bit of inaccuracy in the first half, and just 2 points to half-time for the great man Gary Ablett, who's managed over a century in the last 2 seasons. Well, the Crows today are trying something revolutionary. I don't know whether you've noticed during our telecast, there's a new drink bottle out there, and the Crows are trying it today, and it's been invented by the former Geelong and Richmond player Graham Landy.
It's the brainchild of former Geelong and Richmond footballer Graham Landy. It's a drink bottle that can be shared without the fear of spreading germs.
It keeps a constant gap between the outlet nozzle and the athlete's mouth, and therefore reducing that risk.
6 AFL clubs, including the Crows, are currently testing the bottle. There's no question it's the most hygienic on the market. The medical profession sees it as a major breakthrough.
With this, they cannot put their mouth on the portion of the bottle that delivers the fluid they're drinking, which is one good point, and the second good point is they can't get a drink unless they use it correctly.
Football clubs use several bottles during a game. Medical staff are forever telling players not to put their lips over the suction area. Most of the time they don't. However, with this bottle, that's not an issue.
First class item. In a team sense, I think it'd be very useful. Individually, I'm not so sure, probably an individual bottle would do the trick, but that little plastic bit on top of the bottle, in a team sense, I couldn't think of anything better.
Sports store owner and Crows rover Tony McGuinness says a bottle of this nature is well overdue and believes its inventor is on a winner.
I've got no doubt that we'll range them and sell them very well.
And would you use it?
Absolutely.
Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Well done to Graham Landy, because it has been a problem with water bottles out there, and on a day like today I can assure you that the water bottle will be getting plenty of use here at Football Park in Adelaide. At half-time, the Crows leading the Cats by 32 points.
How does it happen? You paint a sign or dig in a mine, and you strain till you think that you'll burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. You're leading a band or shoveling sand, you can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter.
They talk about it all the time, but they still can't control the weather. And while some like it hot, others like it cold. But now Adelaide has everyone's perfect climate. Climate Air Control and Energy Centres. Climate can advise you on the latest economical, energy-efficient cooling and heating systems, so you won't get hot under the collar or lose your cool. See your Climate Air Control and Energy Centres for the right climate, whatever the weather.
Lo pesciole, esso va, esso vera, se bella pesciamma lo vena. Se ci chiappa tanto si ti puscerete cussaria, la pesce fritte baccalà, e comparo la mangia ciacchetta, la pesce fritte baccalà, e comparo la mangia.
Faster, faster. Too good for words.
In Australia, what impressed me most was the outback. I came to appreciate its quality so much, I brought it back with me. The wide spanning spaces, so spectacular. The colors so rich and attractive.
So grazie.
Beautiful features I've never seen before. Australians are so lucky to have the magnificent outback.
There's nothing in the world like the Stratco Outback. The all-colour, all-steel, all-Australian veranda, patio and carport system.
It's so easy to shape up at home. You can with BeFit Hire.
exercise bikes for burning up excess calories and toning your legs. Everyone can now shape up at home. Multi-exercise rowers for complete body tone. Hydraulic rowers for firming the tummy. Call B-Fit Hire now at a location near you.
Look what I found at Macleay's bulk store. The flatten the price on carpet and vinyl, and look at this.
Nylon plush carpet in 6 colours below normal cost, just $45 a metre. And slate vinyl from only $25 a metre.
What absolutely incredible value.
Nylon plush carpet below cost, just $45, and slate vinyl only $25.
This is how you stretch your dollar further. Macleay's have even got rugs and runners. Macleay's bulk store, Coghlan Street, Brompton.
And welcome back to Footy Park. The half-time score, Crows 9-8-62 to Geelong 4 goals 6-30. Malcolm, would it be fair to say when you were at Geelong, the attack probably wasn't a problem, but you had to keep down scores for the opposition? And does that problem carry over to Gary Ayres' time?
I think that's probably a fair comment. I mean, we did kick some big scores and probably did struggle at times to keep the opposition down. But, you know, I just think in that quarter there, the Crows out of the centre were much, much better, and they're on ballers. McGuinness broke free again a few times, although I thought Tanner's done a fair job on him. I think Tony Hall's, you know, when a player starts marking like Tony Hall has up forward, the rest of the side, you just seem to lift the leg and you think, gee, if we get the ball down to him, well, he's going to be a great player for us. As we watch this is a goal early in the first quarter. This is Wellman. Great evasion skills there, and he certainly looks like a likely type of player early in that first quarter and really got the Crows going early. Ken Hinkley is off the ground late in that second quarter. Pretty good play here from the Geelong side. Peter Riccardi moved onto the half-forward line in that quarter, so just dropped out through that midfield area. Some excellent handball. Tim McGrath, great shrug off here. Just struggled in that second quarter, but that was a sensational goal. Terrific play. This is McGuinness at his very, very best. Look at that, at 100 miles an hour. Great take, great weighted kick. Hall kept his body, unfortunately, misses his goal from 3.5 steps. It really is an awkward way to try and kick for goal. Here's a quick kick once again. This is where the Crows are probably just getting the ball away from more of those 50-50s in Geelong at the moment. Tregenza, as we know, a real speedster, up the ground. Another great mark from Tony Hall, free kick or mark. And this is the one where he does have this great skill, both sides of his body, and confident to do it. A fantastic goal, and really has probably been the difference. 3 or 4 goals up there. Looking at the stats, well, actually, that's a bit surprising, but Geelong in the second half of that second quarter used the ball out the back a bit with a lot of chip passing and kicking, rather than perhaps going long sometimes, more direct to centre-half forward.
What about a rap for John Barnes? I mean, the hit-out stats are in favour of Geelong. He's played about 3 men's games.
Yes, he had. I mean, it's interesting, Shane Crothers came on. I thought they probably just lost a little bit with Shane coming on, but he's young and learned. But the centre breaks 10-5, and without looking at the stats, you would have said that was the case. I mean, they're just forcing the ball forward in those 50-50s more than Geelong are.
Win it in midfield, and that gives the opportunities to the likes of Hall. And it's unfair, really, that Wren is down there just like a third goalpost to mark everything that's up in the air.
Yeah, it's an interesting move, that, isn't it? That this sensational young ruckman who had a great year last year, and Robert Shaw has opted to play the other 2 bigger blokes and him at full forward. Interesting when Modric comes back, what happens there?
Well, would he be regarding it? Well, we'll just see what happens today, but it is an Ansett Cup, and it'll be a long season, and Wren's got to do a lot of the ruck work during the year.
Could be, although Dennis made a comment that Pittman has improved, and I think that's pretty right too. Robin's virtually a new player for them, so that's terrific. But I think Robert Shaw wants to win the game, and he would have tried to exploit Geelong's lack of height at the back.
And Sean Wren, well, he was about 11th in the Brownlow last year, best and fairest, All-Australian, and no reason why he shouldn't do it again in 95.
No, I mean, it'd be a terrible thought now if Barnesy had to come out and jump against him now.
OK, thank you, Malcolm. 32 points is the lead for the Crows at half-time. We'll be back shortly.
Coming soon, 4 quarters, a Friday night footy extravaganza with Sandy Roberts, Wayne Carey, Tim Watson and the team. Only on 7.
Them magnets are quiet, you know. Yeah, I know. Roomy too. Outside Camry last year, and I had 2.6 litre or a 3 litre V6 engine, you know. Really? There you go, Tim. You learn something new every day. Didn't learn nothing new yesterday.
So, what will it be today? Crisp, cool salads or our chef's garden fresh vegetables? Turkey schnitzels plus.
Ooh.
Kangaroo schnitzels plus.
Ah.
Barramundi schnitzels plus. Veal schnitzels plus.
Ooh.
Or chicken schnitzels plus the works.
Yes.
And your usual triple chocolate treat.
Schnitzels Plus. It's a tasty treat for the whole family.
Bunnings is having a 5-day sale. Just count the savings on these. 3-metre extension cord, $4.95. 80-metre garden hose, a bargain at $8.95. Large multi-purpose storage crates, $9.95. 6-litre Walthamere acrylic, $29.95. That's 6 litres for the price of 4. Heavy-duty rivet gun, $9.95. Even less for handy card holders. And indoor-outdoor broom, great value at $6.45. Rush to the Bunnings 5-day sale before it all disappears.
Pat Bunnings. It's so easy to shape up at home. You can with BeFit Higher. Exercise bikes for burning up excess calories and toning your legs. Everyone can now shape up at home. Multi-exercise rowers for complete body tone. Bionic bikes for exercising the arms and legs. Call BeFit Higher now at a location near you.
When the evening is a bore.
And your ears are getting sore.
And you feel like doing something really bold.
Now's the time to share a little gold.
New iced coffee gold is the real coffee, iced coffee.
There's an awful lot of coffee, awful lot of coffee in ice gold.
Now the word went out across the wire, and it's causing quite a queue. The Toyota factory's gone for value. There's big bucks in this for you.
Toyota dealers are under instructions to clear stocks of Corolla Seekers, Camry sedans, 4-wheel drive RAV4. Buy now, and you'll save.
Big bucks. To save big bucks on cars and trucks, you haven't got much time. Go to your whole lot of feeling Toyota dealer. Say, howdy, this one's mine.
Where the lumberjacks are cut the pies, the White House furniture every time.
Ideal for small areas, this dining setting has an ideal price as well. A wide selection of desks, solid construction and solid design. TV and video cabinets, you'll be amazed at our huge selection and low prices. We're overstocked on single beds, all priced to clear. Get in quick.
We know the place that you'll prefer, White House furniture.
Welcome back to Football Park in Adelaide. The Cats and the Crows back on the ground to resume festivities after the half-time break. And down on the boundary line, Neil Curley. Curls?
Hi, Drew. Well, the rooms at half-time, Gary certainly wasn't happy with that second quarter. He had the players locked away in that little room, and they were copping a bit of stick. But he appealed to them just to work harder, try and get more numbers around the ball. And this, of course, is where the Crows are defeating them. They're working harder and getting players up around the ball a lot more than the Geelong boys are. They're certainly working better in defence, in particular Tasker and Jamison off that back line. McDermott won't take any further part in the game. I think he's done a hamstring, and he'll be off the ground now for the rest of the match. But it's the on-ballers of the Crows that are really hurting them around the packs, and I noticed Tanner, I think, has gone on to try and prevent McGuinness, but McGuinness, of course, is too experienced for that. Geelong players have got a lift, but in the room, the feeling's not good. They think that they're a beaten side today, and it's going to need a lot of players to find a little bit more. It was shown yesterday that it can be done because Sydney came back from a similar position. It'll be just interesting to see how the Crows handle this now with this lead. You can expect the Geelong boys to come out with a lot more fire and a bit of body and a bit more determination. Now it's up to the Crows. They've been in this position before, and they have lost the footy match, so you'll just see how Robert Shaw's going to tackle this third quarter, and just see if the Crows can absorb what Geelong are going to throw at them and then come back with their own effort to take them further afield.
Yeah, thanks, Curls. Remember that preliminary final in '93, a 7-goal lead, and it all went to nothing.
Still talk about the Cabs, don't they? Tony Hall, 9 kicks, 7 marks, 3 goals. Has certainly been, I believe, the difference and that confidence in the forward line for the Crows. John Barnes has got a lot of touches, had a bit of a rest late in that second quarter. 17 touches for the big fella. Most of them, though, have been at the back end rather than across the midfield and kicking in the forward line, but been a great contributor.
Speed merchant, this fella, and can kick the ball a mile too.
Yeah, 11 touches. I mean, that's a heady start, isn't it? That's 22 touches for the position that he's playing is excellent. Yeah, Tim dropped out a bit in that second quarter, and Gary Ayres did move him back to the true centre-half forward position, and without harping on it again, just sometimes you need to kick the ball on top of a centre-half forward's head and make players kick it to there rather than go wide all the time, and I'm sure Timmy can only get better. Mashudio snuck up, 8 touches, you know, didn't look that dominant a player in that quarter, although he did have a lot of touches. And Paul Lynch, as I mentioned during the call, he appeared to be getting his kicks right at the back, and I suppose that's fair enough too, because the ball was a fair bit in the Crows forward line, but 12 touches, and it's going to be a big second half from these on-ballers from Geelong.
Just talking about Tim McGrath and the 2 goals he kicked in the first quarter, is it a bit like a batsman likes to take wickets? You know, if you're a defender all your life and you rarely kick goals, it'd be a highlight of his life, wouldn't it, to run in and kick a couple?
I remember when he kicked his first one, I might be wrong, but I think it was against the Swan or something. I mean, it was just unbelievable. He kicked about 15 points prior to that, and when he had his sojourns down. But I think it's a matter of here. Gary Ayres has stated publicly that he wants to keep the back line as settled as he can. And I noticed Ken Hinkley limping, which wasn't good. Gary Ablett also off the ground now, and also looks like is that Mick Mansfield coming off? Yep, coming off the ground. So Hinkley, Ablett, Mansfield, and Crothers on the bench for the Geelong side.
And Chris McDermott off for the Crows with a lot of ice on his knees, and that's a bad sign as well for Adelaide.
Lee Tudor on the ground in the forward pocket. Aaron Lord's gone to the forward pocket for Geelong. May have a run on the ball. He's been playing wing. Peter Riccardi looks as though he's back out on the wing. And just looking at the Crows players, Wren's still in the goal square. Robin going to take the first bounce.
Would that maybe have been a plan with Ablett, whether he'd kicked 1,000,000 goals or not, just give him half again?
I believe it was going to be half, and if, you know, I mean, he hasn't played, so it's probably right.
So we start the second half. A 32-point lead to the Crows. The bounce favours Barnes, who backhands it straight onto the chest, and away goes Pickering. Out wide. Tudor on the ground. Is that a free kick? Not paid to McClure. A hand pass is chopped off by Pesh. And now the Crows have a good hand pass to Tregenza. His pass up to centre wing, and an excellent mark. Wellman looked as though he was in the back position. Got up to take the mark. Came up limping a bit too. Prosciutto very high. McCartney goes back. Poked up the ground by Connell. One hand by Wren, but the other was being held. Free kick to Wren right in front.
Yes, it's an interesting move. It could very well be that, once again, Lee Colbert, in trying to get in front, Lee's just got that half a yard pace yet, and he really has to develop that as he gets a bit older. So he's just not going to be able to afford to get too many players in front of him, as Wren kicks a bit poorly in the end and off to the right for another behind for the Crows.
Well, it's just as well they haven't needed him to kick goals, because he's kicked 2 behinds and 1 out of bounds.
Colbert to bring it in. 9-9, 4-6. Colbert towards the outer side. Barnes on a searching lead out there. The ball runs away from him. McCartney did well. Put some space for Robran, who boots it back inside the 50. Went over the top, misjudged it. Comes to Pesh. Snapshot goal.
Well, to say that's what the Crows needed, that's certainly true. And they really have forced the ball forward. And Pesh, one of those players at ground level, very, very good. And, you know, some of these snaps go and some don't. It was really Wren again probably caused that problem in the air there. And you'd run confidently to him, because there's going to be a contest in the air. And certainly a great start for the Crows. So again, Lee Colbert kicking out. He has been working very hard on his kicking, I know that. And just occasionally does miss the target and gave John Barnes all sorts of trouble then.
Well, the Crows are going into the breeze, so it's a cruel blow for the Cats that Adelaide got the first goal of the half. Floating hand pass comes over from McClure. It's come unstuck again. McKinnon goes round the corner. Colbert looking for the boundary line. And it will be a boundary throw-in.
Well, so just already Gary Ayres has made the move. He's put Colbert back onto McCartney, and once again Stephen Hanley's gone back onto Wren.
Colbert and McCartney for the boundary throw-in. Here's Couch with Jarman. Couch has got it. Now eventually they get out of it. Chain of hand passes. Comes to Couch. Riccardi floats one back to Paul Couch. At full stretch. He's on his left side. Tim McGrath marks just forward of the wing.
Forced well up the ground. Runs around smart. Goes down towards left half forward. Kicks inside the 50. Hall props in front. Almost a clever mark. Hickmott tried to come out backwards with the ball, but was knocked away from him. Tied up eventually.
Looks to be playing full forward, Hall. Gary Ablett having a spell.
Sean Tasker gives the ball up and a bounce about 25 metres out. A little further perhaps, 30 metres out from their attacking goal, the Cats. Taken by Riccardi, deep in the pocket. Tries to pull it back hard from there, off hands and a behind. Got a big crowd by Football Park standards today. Probably around about the 17,000, 18,000 mark. 10-9, 4-7. Here's Maynard. Goes to the wing. Smart. Getting away from McGrath. Looks back towards the middle. Goes by hand to Connell. He'll need to stretch. He controlled it very well, Connell. The kick, well, should have been effective. McCartney dropped the mark. One wonders, though, whether it would have been paid. Did it go the distance? Colbert gives it away. McGuinness runs in 25 metres out. Spears the pass in low to win.
Interesting. I mean, I know the blue was bad, but I mean, Stephen Hanley thought that McGuinness was going to kick the goal, so he stopped chasing Wren towards the goal square. I mean, it was just a soda then for an easy goal. I mean, you just don't concede like that.
Gets his second.
Tonight, see the world's funniest men in a brand new comedy special.
You must be joking.
Join Andrew Dado and Kane for the world's greatest commercials tonight on 7.
St Kilda, Carlton. First. The final showdown. Monday night Ansett Cup. It doesn't get much better than this. See it direct from Waverley, 8:30 Monday on 7.
So now the Crows have kicked the first 2 goals of the third quarter and lead 11-9 to 4-7. Robran goes up against Barnes. Whipped off the fingertips by Tregenza. He's buried by Riccardi. Couch just gets the hand pass away. Here's a 50-50 ball. McGuinness in very hard for it. Well played, Tony McGuinness, and gets the free kick. So he's not just a speed merchant around the packs. His left footer out wide to McKinnon, who led Brewer a merry dance, but he's a long way out near the boundary line. Tries to hook it back to Wren, front position. Hanley gets there to spoil. And Brewer eventually sees the ball over the boundary line. Shane Brewer, former South Australian, coming back home today.
Handley wrestled to the ground unfairly, says the umpire. Handley badly injured an ankle the last time these two sides met at Linear Park, round 19 of last season. Drives it around the outer side. Barnes up in front. He's awarded a free. Barnes goes by hand out wide. This is Pickering, hard against the line. Hugs the line with a kick. Tanner needs to go. He's pushed him back, says the umpire. So a chain of free kicks around the outer side for the Cats. Has them about 85 metres from goal now. Grant Tanner, former Norwood player. A centering effort. Hall comes on the lead. In from the side hard. It falls behind. Taken by Lee. Missed by Rashudo. Picked up by Scholl. Gets it away to Riccardi. Right on the 50. Very high. Kick down towards the kick-off line. Was it touched? Yes, it was. By the Cat, I think. McGrath going back. Trying for the mark. Touched his fingertips and went through for a behind. Tasker wasting no time. Pops it in short. Jamison. Have a run around the outer side. He's at left half back, Jamison. Boots towards the wing. Awkward half volley out there. Favoured Wellman. It was Sanderson who lunged at the ball. Wellman played it pretty well. Into the path of Jarman. Support now McGuinness. Tried to go back to Jarman. Bregenza left it behind. Down goes Pickering. Lost control of it. Couch, nicely done. Great evasion, Paul Couch. Surrounded. Gets the hand pass off, and Barnes forward of the wing.
Kick by Johnny Barnes is perfect. And the mark taken by Hall. Looks as though he might appreciate that end of the ground better than the last line of defence on Tony Hall. Pokes this one up short. And then Pickering takes the mark and then says to Maynard, I've got your number. Well inside the 50.
Can kick the ball, Liam. He can kick the ball a long way sometimes. Just in that slight...
About 48 metres out. Kicked it easy for distance. Accuracy, yes.
One Australian airline has been flying across this great country of ours for 75 years, opening up the outback, connecting the cities, bringing Australians together, which is why today no one knows Australia quite like the airline that calls it home.
75 plays 38, just over 14 minutes till three-quarter time. Rodbrin gets it down to Rashudo, who boots inside the 50, directly to Colbert. McClure, across half-back, needs to run the ball out, and does. Chip passes towards the wing. Lynch, a lot of the ball this afternoon, back to McClure. Still he goes. Pickering's got it now inside the centre square. Thought about the hand pass. Kicks inside the 50. Once more Hall in front from behind Jamison. Little nudge, timely one. Enabled him to take the mark. He goes across the goal face. It bounces out of bounds in the opposite pocket.
Jamison, he's become a good defender, hasn't he? When you consider he was a forward in the first year of the Crows. He was their leading goal kicker when they first came into the competition. Kicked 49 in 91. Here's Tanner. Off to the right and through for a behind.
He offers that versatility coaches love, although it wasn't often used last year, was it? We didn't see him thrown on the forward line too often, but it's an option that I think Robert Shaw might explore a little more.
Yes, it could be, well, although he has stated publicly, of course, that he wants a settled back line.
Can't believe coaches. It's a stride around the outer side, away he goes. Look at him go, a second bounce. He's really stretching out, and a third. Taking it down towards half forward. They've done this a couple of times today. Moved the ball the length of the ground. Wrestled down there. Wren had it slapped away. Opportunity for Sanderson. Dragged off it. This is Tony Hall. Hard against the line. It floats towards full forward. Back goes Handley. Outmarked by McCartney. Well, the breeze, I think, assisted the Crow that time. It was a floating kick. The breeze grabbed it and pushed it his way. Initially, I thought McCartney, as he did, thought he was out of position. Finished up on his chest.
If that's not a modern player, Nigel Smart, that's modern football at its very best, isn't it? Athlete, tall, run, can kick.
McCartney, 15 metres out, gets his second.
And I'm just not sure what I've been watching closely enough, but it seems to me that Smart has had a pretty easy day. He hasn't done a lot, so he was as fresh as a daisy for a run like that.
Yes, that's probably right. Pretty good body work here by McCartney in the end. The ball probably, as I say, just did drift it back again, and Stephen Hanley is not that strong in the body. His best way to play the game is to actually jump. He's not very thick across the top, so McCartney was able to shift him. Yes, he's been playing on Tim McGrath all day, and you know, Tim has kicked a couple of goals by running close to goal. It's just been a real nullifying effort from Smart, other than that piece of play, really.
Barnes and Rodbrin face each other. John Barnes wins it. Down to Tanner. Comes back to Barnes. Floats one across. And this is Scholl to Couch. Hall made a contest of it. Couldn't drag down the mark. Riccardi's there. Comes to the back of the pack. Hand pass comes back from Lord. Snap for goal is offline. And out of bounds on the full. Quickly taken by the Crows, and they're into business already. Bregenza. Here's Smart. Put down there by McGrath, and Smart will take the free kick. Tim McGrath not happy with the decision. He's got to wear it and stand the mark.
Crows are running on very well down the ground. Rashudo finding a lead. Goes again. Either one of two. McKinnon takes the mark this time. So Geelong with a lot of work to do now. Since Adelaide have got the legs and the lead. It's a centering kick. All Geelong at the fall of the ball. Simpson dropped it. Taken by Pesh. Gets it away to Hall, who snaps. Well wide of the mark. It's out of bounds on the full in the right full forward pocket. Tony Hall's got 3 this afternoon. And there's been a focal point, but that time, not even close. Here's Colbert. 12-9 plays 5-9 at Footy Park. It's game 8 at the Ansett Australia Cup. Colbert out of defence. Mendes side with a kick. Robran favoured by the kick, but Barnes earned front spot. It fell to Jarman. Pokes it back inside the 50. Handley's got it. Riccardi wants it short. Handley now makes it awkward. Where will he go? He pulls it back towards the middle. Presenting Couch with an opportunity and a task. He tried to soccer off the ground. Spills across to Maynard. He's taken down by Tanner.
Free kick to Grant Tanner, who was once on the Crows list. A little hand pass, and Couch had to give it back to Tanner in a hurry, and Tanner for the 3rd time now. Gets a little bit of support from Lynch. Kick goes wide to Scholl. Brad Scholl, 2 games with North Melbourne. Craig's younger brother. Riccardi got rid of it in a hurry like a hot potato. Tregenza, and now Hart, and he goes for a similar run to the one that Smart went on. He approaches 50, could kick it, Ben Hart. Had the distance, but kicked it to the left.
Yes, the classic term in football now is called turnover, and I would have to say that that work around the middle of the ground just wasn't tidy at all. And handballing the bloke standing flat-footed has always been one of my big bugbears. I'd rather they'd shepherd or block for the other teammate and let the other guy run through. I mean, you always open up the door, I believe.
Mansfield dropped the mark. It was a valiant attempt to mark. Well done by McKinnon, though. Gets it across to Hall. It goes in short for Wren. It's punched back to Hall. Now Pesh should kick a goal. He hasn't. He's missed to the right-hand side. Well, I guess if we go back to that midfield situation for Geelong just a couple of moments ago, if you handle the ball 8 times in the space of, what, 8 seconds?
Inside the centre circle.
That's right. Within 15 metres, you may turn it over more often than not. Here's Colbert. Drives it out wide. Good kick to Barnes. Jeez, good player. That was a good mark. He was 3rd in line, really, but came hard at the ball where the others were propping and positioning. He just went at it and took the mark. He's at left half back. Side a long way behind. Well, it's a good effort by Colbert. Interesting kick. He just poked it in there, and Colbert kept coming and took the mark. This is Mansfield, who started on the bench in this term. He's back on the ground now, obviously. Kicks it down towards left half forward. Maynard content to escort that one across the line.
83 plays 39. The Crows well in charge midway through the 3rd quarter. Smart. Jarman was clever there. Hurried kick out of the pack. Hart didn't go the 10 metres. So he took it and spun out of trouble. Nobody laid a hand on him. Out to centre wing. 2 against 2 and a big punch by Pickering. And the ball goes out of play. Gee, that was smart by Ben Hart. He was All-Australian in 92 and 93. Missed out on a hat-trick last year. There's a free kick. Robran. And a 15-metre penalty.
Yes, that's, we don't play that way anymore, Johnny, and that's fair enough too, I suppose. You get it back to the player on the full.
Well, the throw-in was at centre wing.
Don't know what the free was for anyhow, but regardless of that, I mean, just to throw the ball back like that, it's just a lapse in concentration.
Decent 50. Robran will be kicking from 45 metres. He's across the breeze. It's right to left for him from there, and he misses left.
So a string of points now for the Crows, who just keep the door open a little bit for Geelong here. If Geelong can just get a couple of quick goals back, they can still be in the game.
McClure, deep in his own defensive area. Comes out very wide. Couch will need to go. He kicked it in pretty well. Gets it across to Lynch. Little chip pass intended for Simpson, who controlled it nicely. McClure giving them some run off half-back at the present time. Gets it to Tanner. Wasn't the best of hand passes. Tanner intent on hand passing. Gets it to Couch, who pops it into Barnes in some space. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Now McClure has run on. He's down towards the 50. He can settle and go for home. Well, Hart confused him. Confused the issue. Stayed put and got this mother. Well played Good shepherd behind by Robran. Hart comes away from half-back, goes towards the middle, and Brewer, one-handed, juggles the mark.
It's a player that can lift, Shane Brewer. Perhaps rather than wing, put him in the middle of the ground. Just might give the Geelong side some lift.
Floats it towards half-forward. Missed by Maynard, backed up by Lee. Jamison's got it. Now, the Crows have got the numbers on the outer side. Connell will be the first to arrive. Next in line is Tregenza, so Connell's around the outer side now. Goes with the left foot towards half-forward. McCartney will need to come. Awkward bounce there for Pickering. Sliding in was Mansfield, went to ground. McKinnon an opportunity. Good hand pass back to Connell. Now Connell kicks towards McGuinness. Brewer bearing down, gets a fist on it and gets it across the line, and that's a good result for the Cats.
Yes. Gary Ayres looking on pensively. He's got a few stars, including Gary Ablett, on the interchange bench. Here's Colbert. The handballs haven't been out in the open. They're putting players under pressure. And Tanner had to go backwards, and here's Couch in heaps. Colbert in heaps of bother. He's lost it. Jarman, Pesh, McCartney. He hooked it. Still in the field of play. Hall a bit of a chance from behind. Good second effort by Tony Hall. Simpson over the top of him, and the umpire will ball it up.
Actually, Drew, it's interesting to make the comparison there. The hand pass invariably coming back from the Geelong players. The one that really hurts is the one that comes forward, like we saw Pesh there. It really slices up the opposition. Probably should have been a goal.
Wren tries to take clean possession, but Handley puts it out of bounds. Sean Wren hasn't had a run on the ball. He's been down on the forward line all day. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. Throw in bit long for him. McGuinness the rover, clean possession goal.
More people prefer heating with gas because
hands need thawing, toes need warming, because of smart old heat-seeking dogs. Because the cute little butts, because the storytelling nuts, why gas? Well, just because.
More people prefer heating with gas because it gives instant warmth. It's clean, comfortable, and well, just because.
Why gas? Well, just because.
One-sided affair now. Margin is out to 51 points. Barnes goes up and heads it down. This is Lynch, dragged off it. The kick goes the Crows' way, if anything. Slap forward by Tregenza down towards left half-forward. He tries to soccer it, and again, well played. He gained about 45, 50 metres there. Colbert, in a much-worked defence, goes across, is met very solidly by Tregenza, who'd run on, and the umpire is going to pay a free kick to Colbert. He was taken high. Tregenza crashing through. All right. Colbert was falling to the ground, and Tregenza over the top, but Colbert with the ball pinpoints it nicely and finds Lynch hard against the line. 13-12 to 5-9. Lynch back to midfield, but Lee goes up and takes a very strong mark. Given great service. This is Hart. Away he comes. Gets it back to Lee, to Connell. Moves it on very slickly indeed. Rashudo, 80 metres out from goal. Launches a long one. In from the side, Ran almost the mark. Hall's got it. In fact, he didn't have the ball. Could have almost got a free kick there. And we've got a whistle. Hall went to take it, fumbled, and immediately was tackled, and the ball was lying on the ground.
There's plenty of heat on that defence down there, isn't it? The ball's coming down just far too often.
And too easily, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, it's frightening to think what might happen when Modra's there. Conceded behind by Simpson. '91 plays 39, and we have just under 5.5 minutes to go to three-quarter time.
Interesting, no kick-off ploy from Robert Shaw. It's really man on man.
Well, McGuinness and Tanner have forgotten all about the ball, and Tanner's trying to do something to stop the motoring Tony McGuinness.
He's getting a bit of a lecture from Tony too, isn't he? A fatherly one about the scoreboard and what's the purpose of this.
You can do what you like, gripping the jumper. I'll just keep getting the ball. I kicked the last goal. Have a look at the scoreboard. The hand pass comes back to Connell. He's done well. He's marked his own kick. Now, right in front is Brown on the 50-metre line. And the forward line is Wren with immense height. Hall, who's leapt like an Olympic high jumper. A little lead by Pesh the Rover. Brown goes for height and distance for Tony Hall.
Yes, well, Tony Hall's caused problems all day, and Sean Simpson now on him, and just used his body work a good again, once again. Great mark. Probably one-handed by the look of it, from that the way he dragged it in and just hugged it to his chest.
Ball going for number 4. A poster.
Someone said you should get 7 points for that, because it's harder to do than actually get it through the through the 7 metre.
Only if you nominate beforehand.
Yes.
So Hanley to bring it in. 13-14 to 5-9. There's Mansfield, wooed by the Fremantle Dockers. Slip their net. Handley, members side, good kick too. Lord takes the mark on his chest. What a game he played in that second semi-final last year against Carlton. So those players pull out at the last moment, 4 of them, including this man, Couch, with the ball, who drives it down towards half forward, and Lord stepped up, big fist away down there by Smart. It fell to Brewer. The short pass to Hall, awkward half volley. Still he goes, Hall. Claimed by Jamison from behind. Hickmott's got it now, met solidly by Lee. It spills back towards Brewer, smothered off the boot though. Great defence, Jamison. Gets the hand pass to Rashudo, tried to shrug a tackle. Barnes put his body in, tried to knock at Goldwood. Immediately, a couple of throws go hard in on him, too hard, thinks Barnes. And on a hot day, it gets a little more heated. The bounce just inside the 50 coming up with the scoreline 13-14 to 5-9. McCartney's off the ground, hasn't had a big impression on this game. Powell comes on, this is Lee meantime. Wobbles it back towards the new man on the ground, Powell, who's favoured by the bounce, but it's fisted away by Colbert. They should be paid double time for this term, and it's out of bounds and will be thrown in.
These short haircuts are all right if only 1 or 2 have got them, but when 18 or 19 have got them, they start looking a bit the same. Hand pass is good to Couch. Waltzes up towards the 50. Too far out, so he goes for the pass. Point of the square. Going to be a free kick. Yes, Crothers is getting it. Against Sean Tasker. And the crowd not happy with that.
Yes, but I think that's... Not quite sure either way, but they have been playing those at both ends of the ground, and I can remember Ablett getting a shot at goal, Wren certainly, and now Crothers.
Point blank range right in front. The basketballer, he might have missed it. He has. Well, that was like a 2-point layup, but somehow he missed it.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Well, they're hot, but they're not. It's Tasker to kick it in. 13-14, plays 5-10. Tasker, who was offered in a trade pre-season, looking to claim a spot in this defence. Roberin's got it, centre half back, kicks out wide. Well, a man getting metres in the clear is Maynard. He runs away. Rashudo is on down the ground, nobody running with him. He's got it about 70 metres out. They're putting on something of a clinic now. Ball stays out of the contest, but gets the crumbs. 20 metres out, snaps, and he's kicked the goal. Too easy.
Now, Flintware have got the whole town covered with 2 big locations, 1199 South Road St Mary's and now 163 Main North Road Nailsworth. Flintware, North and South, where your tools are our trade.
For a limited time only, Bank SA introduces a new home loan rate that's fixed for the first year. And when we say fixed, we mean fixed. Phone Bank SA for a home loan that works for you.
Well, the Crows have kicked 5 goals to 1 in this quarter into the breeze. Robrin wins out of the middle. Comes to Tregenza. Robrin gets it. 55 metres out. Not a great pass. And this time Simpson in front of Hall. Gets the hand pass away. Nest of Crows. Brown, 30 metres out. Left footer. He's got another one. Well, it was a crow's nest or a nest of crows. One of them had to get it.
Yes, in fact, just looking at the flags as we watch the replay here, Rocket almost must have kicked the ground, and Sean Simpson again falling over. His body does give way under pressure, and mopped up by those players that are getting the ball out the centre, David Brown being one of them for his first goal for the day.
15-14 to 5-10. Barnes, who's tried valiantly, trying to stir up his team in the middle, goes at it again, beaten this time though by the fresh legs. Robran got it down. This is McGuinness emerging from the centre. It's all one-way traffic, and that's a magnificently long kick, and the mark is held by Wren. Well, Malcolm Blight is thinking, I'm sure, he's made the best decision of his life. And Wren is about 25 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, that I'm not playing on Wren, you mean?
No.
Here we go again. Stephen Hanley, see, just that body collapsing. He must learn to just stand up in that when that man-to-man comes. And although Wren is a very, very big fella and a good player, as we all know.
The lead is now 70 points.
Good afternoon. In 7 nightly news at 6, a huge school fire, and police haven't ruled out arson. The blaze wiped out the equivalent of 6 classrooms. Major disruptions are expected. And a warning tonight as we head toward the cold and flu season, nasal decongestants could do more harm than good. The details at 6, only in 7 nightly news. Shortly, back to the footy.
Nobody knows how to live like 7.
I mean, Hocking's the man they miss in there, but even so.
Barnes this time wins in the middle. Tanner, he gets one on McGuinness for a change. Bounces through them. It's now 40 metres from goal. Jamison, well played. Controlled it with one hand. Fired out the hand pass with the other. Tregenza, any amount of Crows out here. Time for a fumble by Robran. A little bit of a flick up there to Brown. Brown runs to the 50. Wren's got the height in the goal square. Brown might kick it himself. Wren right in the middle of the chop-up. Off the hands for behind.
Interesting play down the other end of the ground where it started with Jamison. Hall tried to pull the ball back in. Jamison ran through it. And I think that's the difference of experience now, that Jamison's had the ability to run forward where Hall tried to pull it back in.
Handley kicks in, straight to Connell. Connell goes in short. Wellman. Only one side is running at the moment. Wellman's got it about 40 metres from goal. Sharp angle. He'll take a good kick from here. He decides to go in short. Wren offers the lead. Up he goes. Coming back hard there was Brewer, who traps the ball. Goes back after it. Met solidly by Powell. Powell went off the ground. And a free kick will go, I think, to Scholl. He may have been tackled hard. Three-quarter time at Footy Park in Game 8 of the Ansett Australia Cup. And that term dominated by the Adelaide Crows. Geelong kicking 1 goal while their opponents got 7. Three-quarter time then our scoreline. 16-15, 111 the Crows. Geelong 5-10-40.
Well, that was just awesome. They kicked 7 goals into the breeze while the Cats managed just 1 goal for with it and extended their lead from 32 points to 71 points at three-quarter time. And it almost seems unfair when you have a tall man there like Sean Wren. We saw him a moment ago. Rasciuto out of the middle. There's Wren. He kicked 2 goals in that quarter. And he gives them so many options, Malcolm. Then with Hall leaping all over the place, he's kicked 4 to three-quarter time. And it is frightening when you think that Tony Modra is to come into this side. What a lineup they might have.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see what Robert Shaw says after the game of why he played Wren. And I'm sure it would have been just the lack of height, generally speaking, at the Geelong back. But to keep him there for the whole day, it just gives them that focal point. And it's not a wide focal point, it's a goal square focal point. And a lot of their goals have been got from running to the front of the goals.
And if you add Liptak, Bickley and the likes as well, they could be a fearsome combination. The Crows, 16-15, 111. The Cats, 5-10-40.
When you're not working, your money should be working even harder. So talk to us about a term investment that works for you.
If you call 131166 right now, you can have any 2 large Pizza Hut pizzas for just $16.90. And I'll have them at your door quick, and then you can say, where am I? Just kidding.
It's so easy to shape up at home. You can with BeFit Higher, exercise bikes for burning up excess calories and toning your legs. Everyone can now shape up at home. Multi-exercise rowers for complete body tone. Hydraulic rowers for firming the tummy. Call BeFit Higher now at a location near you.
In Australia, what impressed me most was the outback. I came to appreciate its quality so much, I brought it back with me. The wide spanning spaces, so spectacular.
Smooth.
The colors so rich and attractive.
So glossy.
Beautiful features I've never seen before. Australians are so lucky to have the magnificent outback.
There's nothing in the world like the Stratco Outback. The all-colour, all-steel, all-Australian veranda, patio and carport system.
Welcome to VIP Home Services. How can I help you?
I'd like my carpets cleaned.
Certainly.
VIP carpet cleaning. $17 per room. 5 rooms plus a hallway for $80. And free deodorizing. Call 13 26 13 and let VIP do the homework for you.
A loved one. Never forgotten, always remembered with a lasting tribute from Stan Tillett Monuments, Theberton and Murray Bridge. Order during the month of March and Stan will give you the inscription free, a value of $150. Families get together at Easter. It's a time for remembering. To have the work done in time for Easter, phone Stan Tillett now and receive the inscription free. For a quality monument, Stan Tillett, Theberton and Murray Bridge.
Bit of a cakewalk at the moment for the Adelaide Crows. 16, 15, 111 to 5 goals, 10, 40. Tony Hall has kicked 4, McCartney's kicked 2 and Wren has kicked 2. Only goal scorer for the Cats in that quarter was Liam Pickering, and Tim McGrath has 2 goals, both kicked in the first quarter. But at the moment, a 71-point break to the home side. Down on the boundary line, here's Neil Curley.
Yes, well, Gary Ayres is just appealing to his players to make a stronger commitment and just really try and save this game from being an embarrassment, which it is at the moment. The Crows players are just on fire all over the ground. You've got on the wings Tregenza and McKinnon, particularly young McKinnon, who hasn't played a lot of wing before, are just dominating their positions. Robin around the ground now is starting to show himself. He's very athletic. He's matching Barnes in ruck and also beating him around the ground. And young David Brown, number 21, he seems to be reborn. Had a very poor year last year, but he's on fire. Hall, of course, in the pocket's playing exceptionally well. And McCartney, at long last, gives the Crows a centre-half forward who they can aim at, because he does contest, he makes a contest of every ball. He may not catch the ball, but he spills it down to the running players, and they know that it's going to come to ground. And of course, McGuinness and the likes of these fellows around there, they're just mopping up. The big improvement in the Crows I see so early in the season is their numbers around the ball. They really are working hard to try and get to the contest every time, or at least get to the falling ball. They're smothering, they're tackling and they're blocking, and particularly they've certainly copied West Coast here in their way. They're picking off players that are coming in to tackle. They're a much improved unit this year. We expected that. Their enthusiasm is fantastic and their team spirit is very, very good. They're on fire, and the Cats, of course, I think it's just going to be annihilation this quarter, unfortunately.
Yeah, thanks, girls. What do you think, Malcolm, about Robert Shaw? A lot of people said, well, if Fitzroy didn't have the class to work with, it'd be interesting to see how he goes with the Crows. How did you go coaching against him? What was your observation of him?
Well, I think that the most impressive thing about him that he always tried something with Fitzroy, and I mean there were some little tricky bits he did out in the ground when you were coaching him. Oh, gee, that's not a bad idea. You put it in the back of your mind. I mean, you know, it was a bit like that. There was always something different to be expected with Robert Shaw, and I'm sure that comes out of necessity sometimes rather than perhaps the sheer ability of a team. And I think that that's what most people admired about him, that he wasn't prepared to set something up and to back himself. And I don't think the biggest thing about coaching, I believe, is the self-belief. And when people ask me that, what do you mean? Because if you don't believe what you're saying yourself, it certainly rings true. And I think Robert Shaw is a believer in himself, and that'll pass on.
Tony Hall's off the ground too. Job well done.
And that's not to say that Gary Viers is not a believer in himself either. I mean, this is, gee, we've all been on the end of one of these at Football Park.
Start of the final term, 16-15, 5-10. Opportunity for Pickering, and he comes away with it. Props, kicks down towards centre half forward. Lee works in front, but the mark is held by the third man in the queue. That's Simpson. Out wide, Adelaide inside the 50. Can he get his first of the afternoon? Not with this one. Tries to bend it back. It doesn't come back far enough. Gary Ablett, the fourth oldest man in the competition now.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be pleased to hear that, Dennis.
Well, fourth is better than first, second or third. Maynard. 50?
I think Gary Abbott's having a run on the half-back flank or centre half-back too, just as a matter of interest for the Geelong people. I'm sure they'd be keen on that.
Connell pushed in the back. It's not a relayed free kick. In fact, the mark to stand down the ground. So advantage was paid as Powell kicks to centre half forward. Wellman gave a contest. Brown tried to work it forward. He was held without it. And the free kick is going Adelaide's way. In fact, before Brown was held, according to the umpire, Wellman was held.
The last time he played in the fence was on Dunstall, and I remember what the match report said that day. Good luck, Gary.
McClure punched at about 15 metres. All cats around the ball. This is Lord on the burst. Scholl, who kicks it out wide. Colbert takes the mark on his chest on the wing.
Couch gives him a lead in short. Being tracked by McGuinness. Not going that way. He's not sure which way to go. Oh, no, he kicks into the man on the mark. So he's coughed it up. McKinnon goes back with his hand pass. There's Couch with McGuinness. Pickering. Very high ball, close to out of bounds. Rasciuto marks anyway. Back towards half-back.
Tim McGrath at full-back too. So they've made a few changes at three-quarter time of Geelong.
Here come the Crows again. Long kick to centre half forward. Ablett at the back. Didn't quite reach him. Comes off to Pesh. Running shot. Left foot. Good shot. Pesh kicks his second, and the Crows continue on their merry way.
Yes, Gary Ablett at centre half back in the marking contest then. As we watch this, this is Connell. Kicks. Gary Norton tries to nudge him under front, and just that fingertip has upset the play. And Pesh onto his left foot, and a known goal kicker as well.
The difference now, 76 points.
Lee Colbert at centre half forward now for Geelong.
Brothers goes up. He's beaten for it by Pittman. Comes to Couch. He's dragged off it. Taken by Rasciuto. Very high kick. Up comes McCartney. Bounces off his chest. McGuinness goes after it. Knocked away down there by Lynch. Picked up by McClure. There's a free kick. No. Advantage is paid, I think, around the outer side. One umpire waving his arms furiously as Mansfield takes off. Forward of the wing, running down to half forward. Little chip kick intended for Derek Hall. Got hands to it. It falls to Simpson. Man on the square. Barnes. Barnes turns around and kicks a goal.
There's John Barnes now having a rest with Shane Crothers being on the ground in the forward pocket and picked up by Tasker. And that's twice Simpson's actually gone to the ball on the forward line and looked much better. Mick Mansfield, key player, Mick, around that centre of the ground, and perhaps he's got to step up now and go from half back to on the ball. Take that seniority in the side that's going to be needed throughout the year.
So back in the middle, not a very high bounce. Pittman wins it. He gets a clip over the air. Going to be a free kick advantage. Inside the 50, McGuinness is there. Well done by Wellman. He gets it going his side's way. Here's McCartney. Loses it in the tackle, holding the ball. And Gary Ablett, the man, the tackler, will take the free kick. Out he comes. Riccardi off the hands and out of bounds. So what the plan for Ablett in defence is just to give him another quarter of running around in the heat. This is like a pre-season workout for him, is it?
I'd suggest so, yes. And plus he is captain for the day. And I mean, if he can do something just to try and steady the ship back there, perhaps the other guys can lift.
Kick by Rasciuto.
No.
Oh, Handley got rid of Wren, took the mark one-handed.
Isn't that different when you stand up?
Scholl gets it up towards centre wing. Chance here for Lord. Whistle. He'll take a free kick. Held when not in possession.
Aaron Lord, out his side wing. Goes down towards half forward. Kick ball under the ball. As a result, Maynard came strongly at it and marks from behind. Rodney Maynard, little chip pass out wide, taken by Pittman, still the defensive side of right centre wing. Side cruising. He kicks it down towards half forward. McKinnon goes back. He likes a run. That's too easy. Gets away from Ablett. A centering kick. Up comes Sean Wren. McGrath is there. It pitches nicely for McGuinness, who gets it to McCartney, and McCartney goes goalward and pops it through.
She sacrificed everything to protect her child. But does she have the courage to let go?
You know how he is. I know how you let him be.
Kirstie Alley's Emmy Award-winning role in a movie premiere to capture your heart. David's Mother, tonight on 7. Tuesday, who's next in the line of fire?
He has nightmares about people burning alive.
Suspicion.
And he fits into one of those profiles.
Fingers of firemen haunted by the past.
He's gone AWOL.
Fire, 9:30 Tuesday on Channel 7.
Marty McKinnon really motoring on his wing. 19-year-old left footer. Just 8 games last year in his debut season. Here come the Crows again. Powell. Very well done by Pesh. Back he goes to Pittman. Wide now for Wellman. Gets around his man far too easily. Pokes it in short. Oh, Ablett was coming the other way. That needed courage. Comes off to Pickering. The hand pass up the ground. Couch. Through the middle to Riccardi. Well, I haven't seen much running from Peter Riccardi today like this. The kick up high. Hall, good mark. Top mark taken by Hall. Derek Hall, who was the Cats' first pick in the February draft, 2 games with the Eagles in '93.
As we watch this mark now, and he just gets his arms bent a bit, and I think he just needs to straighten up his arms when he goes marking a bit. He's just going to show them the ball a bit.
Tudor on for Aaron Lord as Hall goes for goal from 40 metres. Starts it right, it stays right. 1 point.
Sean Tasker finds Connell at left half back, who can go for a run. Second bounce carries him down towards the wing, and a kick towards centre half forward. Up goes Ablett, takes the mark virtually uncontested. Pesh was closing, but not in time. Ablett to Lynch. Brothers is at right half back. Short one to Pickering.
It's been a lot of this, hasn't it? Just some chip kicks around that midfield half back line, midfield area from Geelong.
It's taking so long to develop. This is Mansfield, who wants his left side. Rashudo a little lax standing the mark there. The kick in towards centre half forward, and Barnes, and that's a very good mark.
Bit of hang time there.
Good kick from Mansfield too, right to the spot, demanding that the big man stretch himself, and he did that. John Barnes directly in front. Will kick from just outside the 50. Goes wide in effect, looking for Couch. Deep to the pocket, Paul Couch. Didn't get away, and as a result they've got problems now. Simpson dragged off it. McKinnon missed the ball, goes again. He was the tackler of Couch, and they tie it up. Well, a wayward kick, deep to the pocket, and suddenly Geelong, who looked likely to score a goal there, have to settle for a bounce about 30 metres out from their attacking goal. Barnes goes up, William Smart trying to go through Colbert. He's going nowhere.
Haven't been bad at it today, the Crows, have they? They've done this pretty well. They've blocked up at the back end fairly well indeed. There's been a lot of packs if there hasn't been a clear breakaway.
75 points the margin.
And one of the problems, of course, is there's no Geelong player telling them blokes to get out of it. You know, there's just far too many players. It's one of the keys. Positioning on the football ground is very important, and you just like to see some leadership there, and you know, blokes just clearing a passage for each other.
When you look at that forward line, not a lot of experience down there for the Cats, is there?
No.
Connell, he looks a good pickup for the Crows. Kick to centre wing. Pittman dances around Crothers. Hand pass in is great. Away they go again, McKinnon. But Ablett marks at centre half back for the Cats. Well, Geelong kicked 3 goals in the first quarter, so they've kicked just a goal per quarter since then, while the Crows have gone on their merry way. Riccardi can't break the tackle. Into McGrath. Bit of space now for Tim McGrath. Pokes the ball in low for Barnes, and he marks 45 metres from goal. He's got players running past. Pickering in a bit of space. He's kicked the only goal in the third quarter for the Cats. Standing start round the corner. Wasn't great percentage, but Simpson marks.
Yeah, Sean Simpson early last year actually tried it full forward in the seconds just to try and find the spot for him, and actually did a fair job in that position, but generally known as around midfield and wingman. But as I said, that's 3 times he's been to the ball and has looked lively up there.
So Simpson is scoreless today so far. Man on the mark is only about 8 metres from goal. Simpson, I think, has kicked it. Goal.
Them magnets are quiet, you know. Yeah, I know. Roomy too. Outside Camry last year. I know, 2.6 litre or a 3 litre V6 engine, you know. Really? There you go, Tim. You learn something new every day. Didn't learn nothing new yesterday.
(18:15), 7:13. Crothers and Pittman go at it. They try to draw initially. Crothers at the second attempt knocks it forward. This is Lee Tudor, picks it up, spears the pass in. Awkward one for Hall, though. It pitched in front of him. Picked up by Maynard over the top to Hart. Hart comes away. Good kick too. Pittman gathers the bouncing ball at half back. Runs out of bounds, unfortunately for him. Run out of space. And it will be tossed in. Tough contract for the players. It's been a warm day when play started just over 30 degrees. Rain was forecast last night. That didn't develop. Down goes Pesh. He didn't make an attempt, and a bit lucky not to be penalised there. It was held to him, but he's got to try and get it out. Pittman and Crothers once more. Pittman's in front, directs it down, and follows up. Still he goes. Well, the application pretty good from the Crows. They wanted to help. This is Mansfield, who got it from Couch. Centering kick, and a good one too. Up comes Maynard, dropped the mark, picked up behind by Barnes. Quick thinking, got a boot to the ball. Back comes Tasker, knocked through the pack to Barnes by Simpson. It's a behind.
Johnny Barnes, 1 goal, 1 in this last quarter.
And on the day, Drew has looked their best forward.
Best on ball,
Yes.
best everywhere. So Tasker has the task of kicking it in again. Just over 10 minutes remaining in the game. Long kick well outside the 50. G's going all right. Pittman, Pesh. Straight to centre half forward. Ablett wrestling. No whistle, says the umpire, with a slick hand pass to Brown, and Brown kicks a magnificent goal. From the kick in at full-back, it was stop us if you can.
Yes, once again, that clearance away from the full-back line has been just far too quick. Is it called a stalemate? I'll dance, you do the party, do whatever you call it. And Brown again running to the front of the pack. And he can do that. Many goals like that for Port Adelaide in the local competition, and a number for the Crows.
Well, they've done that about 4 or 5 times today, taking the ball the length of the ground to score. Not always goals, but they're working out of defence pretty well. Pittman again decisively gets it down to Rashudo, who boots towards half forward. Scholl leads in the race. McCartney is coming up quickly, though. And it's McCartney who arrives first, pulls it back down towards Wren. Despairing dive at that one. Handley watches it very closely as it runs across the line. And the throw in deep in the pocket. 19-15, 7-14. Don't often see scores of 20 goals in these pre-season games, shortened games, but the Crows with a chance to post 20 this afternoon. Here's Handley. 9:50 remaining. Here's Ablett. In the goal square, into Mines, not a good kick. Tregenza shown too much of the ball, but well played. Couch socket off the ground, goes after it again. He played his 200th against the Crows last season at Cardinia Park. Different result that day from what we'll see today. Big win by the Cats as the ball comes down from Colbert towards Simpson, who's paid a free kick. Advantage is paid in turn. Simpson breaks away. Hickmott the target, and that's a good mark out in front.
He just hasn't been able to get in the game today, Adrian, and can mark the ball.
McKinnon comes off. Robran comes on. McKinnon's been very good. There goes the kick meantime to full forward. Hall. He's taken the mark only about 5 or 6 metres out.
You'd have to say, I mean, the Crows have obviously got the game well and truly sewn up, but if he kicks this, it's a 3-3-quarter, so they've actually been a bit of a lift from some of the Geelong players. And perhaps it gives Gary Ayres a chance now to have a look at the side just with a bit of a different structure.
Derek Hall gets the goal.
Investigate free heavy-duty NBA cups. McDonald's. McDonald's. There's 6 to collect in some of the hottest teams. Get one free with every large extra value meal. Get your hands on them. I'm going. That's all there is to it.
Yes, the goal by Derek Hall, his first for the game. 1 goal, 1 for him. Pittman, again in the ruck. But straight to Couch. Down goes Hickmott. He was legged and the umpire gives him the free kick. The little hand pass away to Lynch. Inside the 50 now to Hall. Taken out of it by Jamison. Tap on, almost clever to Tudor, but Smart with great vision. Well, that's beautiful. And he gets it back in the old 1-2 with Connell. Smart already to the centre of the ground. Long kick to centre half forward. It clears the players down there. Wren, good hands. Play on, says the umpire. Another goal to Brown.
That is unbelievable for a big man to be able to get the ball like that, give it off that quickly, off balance is just exemplary. I mean, you'd think Tony McGuinness could do that, wouldn't you? Great play game from Smart. He's just done enough, hasn't he, to stop him back there and set a few up. Fair contest there, and here's the big fella. Just fantastic skill, that awareness, and Brown a great finisher again.
And 3 goals to David Brown, 2 in this last quarter.
Yeah, I reckon about 13,866 have turned up to watch this today too.
That's your guess, is it?
Yeah, that'll be my guess.
Oh, well, we'll wait for the official count.
If you look up at the board, it's on there right now.
That's a coincidence. 2015 to 8-14. There's Couch. Lifted behind. Socket off the ground by Rashuda. Wide of the pack. Taken by Ablett. He floats one down inside the 50. Hall is there. Marks on his chest. So Jamison, who was the master in defence early against Ablett in particular, having his problems with Derek Hall.
Yes, he's prepared to play in front. The ball actually just wobbles again, and yeah, he really did just get the right spot.
Going at his second goal from about 35, 40 metres out. He puts it through. Geelong get their 9th. Tony Hall comes back on the ground and Nigel Smart comes off. It's 2015 to 9-14.
So it's goal for goal in this last quarter as we just watch this in the build-up to the play. Gary Ablett running off half-back. Kicks the ball long, and this ball just floats. And it really was just better body work, I suppose, by Hall as the ball floated down. Gary Ablett, centre half-back. Maybe the go.
Is that a sign of something to come? Rashuto rips it out of the middle. High ball. McGrath. Oh, 2 teammates spoiling each other there. McGrath getting him back, and he's lost it. McCartney, a centering kick. Wren is there, but the ball is well chopped off by Scholl. Here's Ablett. Still like it when he kicks 100 goals. You find that hard from centre half back. Over centre wing, Colbert. Floats the hand pass to Crothers, who had to change direction and couldn't. Connell steers it low to the 50. Brown has been on fire. Away to Wellman, who's Ablett's man. Wellman hits the post.
just that poise of young Colbert then, wasn't it? I mean, he just didn't need to unload. Just that lack of pace with Lee. Sometimes he unloads it to players in probably not the best spot.
Margin 68 points. This is Lynch, who's seen a lot of the ball, as we said earlier. Short to Pickering, who was a star in that great victory, the second semi last year over Carlton. But on Greg Williams that day, boots to midfield. Lee does some wrestling with Brewer, and Brewer in front takes a very clever mark. He's promised a bit today, but really never got into the game. He always looks very flashy and very good. There goes the kick to half forward. Colbert goes up in front and claims the mark. Where's Hall? He's got 2 so far, and he wants the ball down towards the kickoff line. Now he offers a lead away from that area, and the ball comes in his direction. Cleared him though. Back comes Hart. Away to Tregenza. Tregenza up from the back pocket. Gets it to Pittman. Inside to Jamison. Now Jamison decides to take them on. He runs up towards the middle, kicking towards half forward. McCartney is there. Intent on destruction. McGrath came over the top. This is Paul Counts, tracking it out towards left half back. Cuts back towards the middle. Finds Lynch. Alongside him, peeling off from half back is Scholl. He pops it over to Pickering. Now Pickering can go for distance. He does towards half forward. Simpson takes a clever mark. Controlled it well. Sean Simpson has 1 goal in this term. Runs around on that left boot. Barnes out of position. It falls behind. Well played by Connell to Tasker. Tasker comes in short. Rashudo. They've got spare men around the outer side. Jamison. Well done by Tudor. Smothered the hand pass.
And Tudor gathers the crumbs. He's decked when he didn't have it and will take the free kick.
That's terrific.
Lee Tudor from just outside the 50. Barnes in the goal square. Good mark. Only had Tregenza to beat, but John Barnes finishing it off well. He's got 1 goal, 1 in this last quarter.
Yes, John, with great attributes, of course, he really can mark the footy.
And that's 2 goals to Barnes.
Now, Flintware have got the whole town covered with 2 big locations, 1199 South Road St Mary's and now 163 Main North Road Nailsworth. Flintware, North and South, where your tools are our trade.
When you're playing the international circuit, it's always important to choose the right club. The Qantas Club.
Only Qantas gives you the comfort of your own club around Australia and the world.
2016, 10-14. Of course, the first quarter-final in the Ansett Australia Cup is on tomorrow night. Pittman goes up and gets it down into the path of Pesh, and Pesh runs to the 50. A quick reply coming up. I think it's good. It is. Well, that's the way to do it. Out of the centre, long kick goal. 1 kick involved in that reply. The Adelaide Crows.
Unfortunately, this C. Crothers in the centre of the ground, he's really just not being aggressive with his jumping, and unfortunately Pittman's just absolutely dominated this last quarter, and Shane Crothers got to learn that you've got to put your body somewhere near the footy sometimes and really jump hard at the footy.
Malcolm, I just wonder, if Ablett's at centre half back, is he allowed to take the mark of the year? Or has he got to punch from behind?
Oh, this is a decision as you go up.
I think with the score as it is, he's allowed to take the mark of the year.
Well, let's hope so, anyway. Here's Pittman. He's winning everyone in the middle, and Brown is having a picnic. A long, high one. Another mark. Tony Hall.
Now, in this game, Drew, the last 4 kicks, 3 of them have been goals. That's rather unusual if Hall gets this.
As we look at this again, the golden rule in football, if your man goes, I reckon you go, and Sanderson stands off and lets Hall go. I mean, you make the pack as big as you possibly can so it's hard for the forward to mark.
Hall gets number 5.
Yes, I mean, you can't really blame the bloke in front. Tim McGrath's got his man beaten, and, you know, that's just inexperience, I believe. I've always thought that you make the pack as big as you possibly can. Beat one. You don't have to beat the lot. You only have to beat your opponent.
And that kick by Brown, the only kick in the last little minute and a half that hasn't been a goal.
So Tony Hall, big day for him this afternoon. He spent some time on the bench. He's still, I think, warming up down there a little bit. Not always the best thing to come back onto the ground so late in the game, but celebrated with a goal. Here's Couch. Couch gets a hand pass away. Will this be a goal? Yes. Lynch, 45 metres out, gets another one. There was a hand pass in there, no kick. We've got a run going. The 11th goal for the Cats. You keeping score, Drew? What's that?
12 goals this quarter.
4 goals out of 5 kicks.
Yep. It was interesting, actually. Pittman pushed the ball back that time because he's getting confident. He actually pushed the ball back, and I'm a great believer. If you've just won 12 in a row, well, I reckon you'd go for 13.
And at this rate, the game should end at midnight. You're not consuming much time between goals here.
12 goals in 25 minutes.
Pittman's been fantastic here. There he goes again against Crothers. Wins it. Brown has a bit of a fumble. That's the only reason they didn't get it out that time. Riccardi. Oh, good mark. Terrific mark taken by Lee Colbert. Too far out to score. You've got players going past. Liam Pickering off the left boot, short of the goal square. Barnes stays at the back. It sits up all right for Hart. Here's Rasciuto, but he can't keep that one in.
It's the first defensive kick in 5 goals.
That's right.
The other interesting thing about these two teams, Malcolm, is that their home record is impeccable.
Yes, it is.
The Cats 3 out of 3 at Cardinia Park, and the Crows 3 out of 3 here.
Yes, that's very true. There's no reason for that, of course, other than the history and the competition shows in the last 4 or 5 years. There's about a 25-point margin to the home side, all grounds, all sides.
Brown has been very good. There's 3 goals coming in the second half. Bounces it. I think out of bounds. No, in fact, it went across on the full.
It's one of those problems, Dennis, isn't it? You really can't put your finger on why.
Home grounds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose not, although, well, players feel comfortable, don't they? And that's got a lot to do with it, I guess. Barnes goes up and knocks it down. It was interesting last year, though. The home ground advantage for Adelaide almost evaporated, didn't it?
Yes. Those stats were over a 5-year period.
Yeah.
The first they were involved in 4 of them, of course. 4 times. 1990.
This is their 5th, isn't it? Yeah. Hickmott, a centering kick. And mark is held by Couch. But I mean, at one stage, everyone feared coming here. Then suddenly last year, it wasn't a problem. Here's Tudor. He gets the goal. The 12th for Geelong.
Good afternoon. In 7 Nightly News at 6, a huge school fire and police haven't ruled out arson. The blaze wiped out the equivalent of 6 classrooms. Major disruptions are expected. And a warning tonight as we head toward the cold and flu season, nasal decongestants could do more harm than good. The details at 6 only in 7 Nightly News. Shortly, back to the footy.
Nobody knows how to live like 7.
I was right about 3 minutes ago. I should have shut up.
They've been coming so quickly. Now we can understand that.
Just over 2 minutes remaining here at Football Park. Well, Crothers was uncontested that time to win it and gets the hand pass away to Abner. Just a goal from the centre circle. Long kick anyway. Oh. Barnes did all right but didn't come down with the mark. Couch, the hand pass back to John Barnes. 30 metres from goal. Hoisted very high. He's got some hope. Oh, it wobbled. Glad there wasn't me underneath that one. Tasker took the mark.
It was a kick of the tired man, wasn't it? There's Tasker out of defence then towards the other side. Tailor-made for Pittman, who jumped right into the back of an opponent and has given away a free kick.
Do you think so? I thought he had his eyes for the ball.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a free kick, but he gave one away. The umpire thought it was. Tudor. It was one of those situations.
I mean, he's just going for the ball, isn't he? I mean, it was just one of those things.
Barnes has taken the mark from the kick. It seemed fair enough. Barnes has got this ball about 20 metres out, slight angle, going for his 3rd goal. If he gets it, all his goals have come in the second half. And he's looked dangerous on the forward line. And he kicks it.
In fact, John Barnes kicked 3 goals in this last quarter.
Yep.
Just from a coach's point of view, you just wonder, you know, the scores really haven't changed much. This last quarter's been just a practice drill, going up and down the ground. As we watch Lee Tudor end up with his ball here and then take off, and once again John Barnes very effective in this last quarter in the forward line, and in fact Maynard's now on him, Tasker off him. So I mean, I think Gary Ayres can get something out of this last quarter. I think certainly Robert Shaw can get something out of this last quarter. Obviously the Crows will win the game, but I think it's been a worthwhile exercise for both sides.
Cats coming forward again. Tudor Barnes stays in the goal square. The kick by Tudor in his direction. He's got the sit. Comes from behind, can't take the mark. It spills to him. And rushed through by Robrin. I saw Johnny Barnes a couple of times in this quarter do something I've never seen a bloke do before. He was behind the goalpost, shading himself from the sun, seeking shade on the footy field from the goalpost.
He was actually trying to hide from his opponent.
He's worked pretty hard, actually, hasn't he? I know he had a bit of a spell on the bench, but he looks like a man who's worked pretty hard just quietly.
Rashudo, who loves getting in behind Pittman, makes another mark, but this time Pittman's going to get the free. So Rashudo, for all his dexterity getting in behind the pack, is yet to get a kick because of it. This is Lee, down towards half forward. Pushing back, McCartney almost the grab. Could have been a free to the Cats there. Wren is grabbed immediately by McGrath, and there'll be a ball up. So we're down to 25 seconds remaining in this game. It will be the Crows who advance to the next round. They've simply been too good. They've overpowered Geelong today. On his knees, Brown gets it out. McCartney, who's kicked 3 goals, has this one blanketed. Slapped out wide by Wren. Picked up by McGuinness, well, almost. It spills to Pesh, who gives it away to Wellman. Wellman turns around from 35 metres out, gets another one. Waiting goals on a hot day at Footy Park.
I have to say, been pretty impressive today, that young fella, and confidence. The season last year, the ball really goes nowhere here. Wren hits it out wide, and McGuinness has trouble picking it up. Ends up with Pesh, and well, very, very competent kick, wasn't it? Unflustered to kick the goal.
We're right on full time for this next ball up in the middle. It's been 8 goals to 7 in the last quarter by the Cats. Geelong have more than doubled their score, but still had a farther of a hiding. Barely time for the ruckman to get hands to the ball, and there's the siren. What a big win by the Adelaide Crows. Tony McGuinness, in his first official game as skipper, started by winning the toss. Actually looked as though he kicked into the breeze in the first quarter, but it all panned out well for the Crows as they ran all over Geelong, except for the last quarter, which became a bit of an exhibition game. And they've won 23-16 to 13 goals 15. What do you think, Doug?
Yes, as I said, I just think that the Crows, obviously, in that second and third quarter, really got on top and controlled the game from there. And I think it was just they were willing to run to make an opposition player try and chase them. And as a Geelong player sometimes dropped off, they were used to create a swath through the centre and in their forward line. Tony Hall, as we mentioned earlier, was good early. Probably faded a bit from there, but then the other players came in and chipped in, and it was probably just a better overall performance. And you look at the Crows players, and you must say that they've all done something for today, but you look at a handful of Geelong tries, and then you go down to some blokes that just didn't have enough of the ball on the day. So, disappointing result for Geelong, but it is still March. The Crows go on. And
down on ground level, here's Neil Curley.
Thank you, Drew. It's always nice to start off with a win instead of a loss, isn't it?
Certainly is, Kills. We've got a lot to make up for from last year. It's only early days yet, we all understand that, but I guess pretty encouraging signs early in the year.
Well, there were some new signs there today, I thought, looking on, that weren't there last year. Your tackling, your smothering, and your hunting in packs was a lot better.
Well, I guess we've been, reasonably renowned for having a reasonable offensive game, and the defensive game we've worked on pretty hard over the summer. Tackling and shepherding, all the little 1%ers, which is no big deal, just is part and parcel of a good side, I think. So we're working hard on that.
And the team spirit seems to be very, very good.
Yeah, we've worked pretty hard on that. Look, it's not hard when you had a terrible year like we had last year. So, like I said, it's been a pretty hard summer. It has been for every club. We've just got to keep at it. Early days yet, but encouraging signs.
Well done, Tony. All the best.
Thanks, Chris.
Good lad.
Neil Curley there with Tony McGuinness. The Crows having a 61-point win over Geelong at Footy Park. The final scores 23-16, 154 to Geelong 13-15, 93.
Feltex Carpets new release Axminster sale. See Macleay's Glen Osmond Road showroom for a large range of broadloom samples. Want an Axminster carpet made in the traditional fully woven method, discounted by a third. Only at Macleay's Glen Osmond Road. The complete domestic Feltex Axminster range, discounted by a third. For the first time, a new Feltex release of Axminster, discounted by a third. Buy now, limited period only, lay-by welcome.
Play and Sons, 243 Glen Osmond Road.
13. Well, that has to be lucky. It's big, and I'm already a customer. Telecom, I knew that. I don't call overseas. Oh, yeah, it's about time I gave Mum a call.
We Welsh really want to win the World Cup. And if that means beating the Aussies, then so be it. Diolch yn fawr Australia. Gwelwn ni chi yn Der Affrig.
When your hot water service breaks down, in most cases we can install a new natural gas water heater in just 24 hours with 6 months interest-free payments. It's another great offer worth reflecting on at the gas shop from the gas companies.
Barbecue works. What'd you get?
Barbecue steak and onion.
Barbecue chicken pizza. And there's chocolate fudge cake too, Mum.
Not like your barbecues, is it, Dad?
Yeah, next mate.
Nothing's on fire. At $6.95, it's down so cheaper.
Yeah, hold on a minute. Who's paying? I like my food on fire.
Smoky too.
I like it smoky.
Barbecue works. Only $4.95 for lunch or $6.95 for dinner.
Well, Geelong outscored Adelaide by 10 points in the last quarter, but still were beaten by 61 points, 23-16 to 13 goals 15. Tony Hall, the leading goal scorer, with 5. McCartney got 3, as did Pesh and Brown, who had a big last quarter. And for the Cats, their leading goal scorers, John Barnes, 3 all in the last quarter, and 2 apiece to McGrath and Derek Hall. Let's take a look at the family tree. In the top half, we saw Footscray get over Collingwood, Sydney advance over Hawthorn, it's West Coast over Melbourne, and Adelaide have now defeated Geelong. And in the other half, and that's the quarter-finalists, St Kilda, Carlton, North Melbourne and Essendon in the bottom half of the competition. Now, Malcolm, pretty impressive, although at the end the floodgates really opened both ways.
Yes, it did. I mean, it was one of those games, and I think that Gary Ayres threw the side around, which he's quite entitled to do, and tried some things. So I'm pretty positive that they can learn something from that. On the other hand, the Crows had a fantastic day, and for 3 quarters really did dominate the match.
So good signs for Crows, because they're coming off such a disappointing season last year, but not so good for Geelong. Well, you happy to be up here, are you?
Oh, I don't think that's the issue. That decision was made some time ago. So, no, I mean, I do think that the Crows probably had a bit more to go for. You know, they had a very, very disappointing year last year, and I think with the new coach they've really knuckled down over summer, obviously, and all things look well. Just looking at the stats, I mean, if you add those stats together, they're probably not too far apart, and that's Geelong just seemed to play that shorter game. Free kicks are certainly in front of. The tackles, well, I mean, 8 over a game, I suppose, is a number, but the centre breaks, 23-16, and I think they got more clearer breaks out of the centre, did the Crows, much cleaner into their forward line probably than what Geelong did for most of the day. But it is a great game. It was a great game by the Crows, and disappointment for Geelong.
The 1995 Ansett Australia Cup, brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors, Nike, Foster's Lager and McDonald's.
Well, the quarterfinals start tomorrow night at Waverley in Melbourne, and it's St Kilda against Carlton, 2 first-round winners, and they're up in the first quarterfinal tomorrow night. Check your local guides for telecast times around Australia, but a big win here to the Crows. We hope you enjoyed it. Good afternoon to you all.
This has been a 7 Sports production. The 1995 Ansett Australia Cup, brought to you by Flintware.
Good afternoon. In the news tonight at 6, a well-known Australian racing car driver has been killed at Phillip Island. He was involved in a high-speed collision during today's racing. We'll have the full details at 6. Also tonight, a local school goes up in flames. 6 classrooms have been wiped out and police haven't ruled out arson. The story's at 6, 7 Nightly News.
Nobody knows how to live like 7.
Tonight at 7:30, catch the custom-made comedy of Home Improvement. Don't miss the world's greatest TV commercials at 8. Then Kirstie Alley in the dramatic TV premiere of David's Mother. Adelaide's Channel 7. Discover.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed.
Sure we're on the road to Ensenada?
Of course we are. Leave it to me. I know where we're going.
And Wilbur, you said you knew a shortcut.
How far are we from Ensenada?
Oh, don't ask me. These Mexican roads twist so much.
Just a second, everybody. Yeah. No doubt about it. We're lost.
Oh, no, Wilbur, I'm famished.
If I had a little ketchup, I'd eat this map.
I could do with a bowl of chili myself.
I was looking forward to spending a delightful weekend south of the border, but with your sense of direction...
There's nothing wrong with Wilbur's sense of direction.
Oh, please, I consider it a triumph we got out of his garage.
But Esmeralda, you told Wilbur to make that left turn back there.
Of course I did. The sign said hombres trabajando. That distinctly means left turn.
Wait, I'll look that up in the dictionary.
Now, believe me, it means left turn. I took Spanish in college, and I finished at the head of my class.
Hombres trabajando. Men at work.
It must have been a very small class, darling. Wilbur, do you have any idea where we are?
Well, the way I figure it out, we're either just outside the town of Cohatzamalulu or on a small island in the Pacific.
Well, we better just keep on driving.
Men at work, huh? Oh, must be an old dictionary.
Let's go, Desi.
I better go take a look at Mr. Ed. Ed, I got a little problem. We're lost.
Who's lost? We're only 10 miles from Cohatzamalulu.
How do you know?
I read a sign back there.
You speak Spanish?
Doesn't everybody?
Thanks.
De nada, amigo.
Tonight, it's time to sniff out a bargain.
How about this? A tartan kilt for a Scotty dog.
While Dr. Harry gets a bite from an alligator park in Broome. Discover Talk to the Animals, 6:30 tonight on 7.
The Malaysia Airlines Golden Holidays book, with airfare and 6 nights from just $1,150.
Only at Tylo can you take a plunge before you take the plunge on a new spa. Come on up for a private test circ.
Spa.
Tylo, 32 Nelson Street, Stepney.
They fixed my car. For the clutch or the brakes or a pull inside.
so easy to shape up at home, you can with BeFit High.